All shall return to fire. While you, my unruly shadow, you had every opportunity to avoid involving yourself in this. But since you decided to jump into the flames together, come. Join this magnificent blaze where even shadows lose themselves. So, we're basically right outside Londinium? That's what I heard. I've never walked so much in my entire life. You figure you've walked more than Moran and the others? Them? They followed the leader all the way from the Skathana fields. How can I even compare? Well, who's counting? Besides, we're here. What now? We fight? I suppose. We've been through more than our fair share of scuffles on our way here. Stray Sarkaz, wasteland bandits, soldiers hired by nobles. Sorry, present company excluded. I meant the ones who specifically target Terrans. You know the type. I know. I just wanted to say... No, it's nothing. Come on, out with it. Is your leg better now? Can you do a little jig? The slightly sultry breeze of early autumn blows through the stench of swamp and grass into the air. The soldier separated from his squad looks up towards Londinium. His ears are not being deafened by sporadic cannon fire, nor is the Sarkaz witchcraft he heard so much about anywhere to be seen. Fine, I'll try. Just don't step on my leg. They're dancing in the camp? I'll tell them to stop. We can't risk the noise this close to the battlefield. No, it's fine. We'll be safe as long as we're inside the camp. But we have to press forward. No. The road ahead passes through a battlefield, and I should go alone. Reed, Moran, come dance with us. So you're all here. Battlefield's just up ahead. No clue how we're gonna end up. But everyone's in pretty good shape for now, so let's dance while we still can. Maybe if we move enough, it'll shake off the fear. That's lovely, but I'd rather everyone stay here and go no further. Huh? We're not going to battle? It's too dangerous for you. So you're going on ahead all by your lonesome? I'm sorry. How long will you be gone? I don't know, but I'll definitely return. Reed, everyone who followed you here knows that fighting is inevitable. We all know we're not qualified to join the fray, but we want to help you, even if all we can do is block a few bolts. I'm not qualified either. Reed? Be it Wellington, the other dukes, or the Sarkaz, they are the ones tipping the scales of this war, but us. No matter which side we choose, will make less of a difference on the battlefield than a speck of dust. That goes for both you and me. Then why? There is something I must do. But don't mistake me. What I intend is no nobler than facing off with the Victorians for our people, swords drawn. I just have to face it. To face her. The leader? The leader. Almost every Terran knows of Dublin and the leader. Even those not in the know will soon learn of their existence from the increased Victorian aggression after Wellington's army marched off towards Londinium. Of course, they will also realize that the leader of Dublin standing before them would seem out of place with a fabled Spectre force or on Wellington's high-speed battleship. But she saved them and asked nothing of them, so to them she is without a doubt the leader. People come and go. Those of us still here have already made up our minds, so don't you worry on our behalf. Don't mind my wounds. I still have a chance against the restless dead. You saved my life. Even if I die here, it'll be a worthy death. Thank you, everyone. But we didn't come all this way to become martyrs. The road ahead of us doesn't lead to yet more fighting. On the contrary, when I return, we'll return to a Terra without war, together. So you're coming back for sure, Reed? I am. Then we'll wait for you. Thank you. After the battle at Silver Rock Bluffs, the royal court forces retreated behind Londinium's walls while Victoria's dukes kept their forces stationed around the city, in no hurry to assault it. Wellington's army, with their fresh new flag, did not participate in the siege and stationed themselves just outside the war zone like an indifferent observer, coolly watching the deadlock outside the city. But a stalemate does not necessarily mean peace. Scouting efforts and countermeasures, raids and ambushes, Skarkaz witchcraft and brief cannon barrages. Accompanying them are the curses and groans of the immobilized wounded, unable to do anything but wait in vain for death to come. Everything comes together in a tapestry of stifling tranquility. The Draco takes advantage of the current peace and sets off to put an end to it. How's the situation outside the city? A group of Victorians tried to snatch their wounded off the battlefield a few hours ago, but we bled them dry. But they'll beat us to death if they spot any of us alone, and their firepower is terrifying to boot. Captain, is it true what that so-called babble on the radio said the other day? Shut up if you want to live. What? A vtuber walking around outside the city? Even helping to treat the wounded? Is she mocking us? Does she think we're already as good as dead? I'll give you a minute. Consider your lives forfeit if she's still breathing. Wait, what? You're telling me she's even saving the Sarkaz? Bloody devils. They've been holed up in there for days and still pack a punch. Personally, I'd rather the siege continue. Old Wellington's not in the siege, changed flags and retreated to his own camp. It's obvious he no longer wants to fight the Sarkaz. Her Grace the Duke of Castor, in her magnanimity, has ordered us not to pursue the matter any further, but where are we going to find more unlucky blokes to hold off the Sarkaz troops? I mean, I'm certainly not volunteering for the duty. Are there even any Victorians left in the city, what with so many wounded soldiers out here on the field? Reporting in, we have returned. What? How? Everyone we sent to rescue you never came back. A vtuber, a caster. She saved us. A vtuber? Which duke does she serve? Gododin? Fife? No idea. She didn't even seem to care which side we were on. Sold it. Just who was she? You're saying she was going what, towards the city? Seemed like to the Gastrel. I'm sorry, this is all I can do for you. It's okay, I'm just relieved. My chest doesn't hurt anymore, at least. Thank you so much, leader. I've seen you before at Oak Grove. You said then the flames have already been kindled. So now I'll become one of the restless dead and continue fighting for Terra, even after I die, right? Is that what you want? Then my answer is this. You won't. What? The flames will indeed swallow up many lives, but never should they intentionally use life as tinder. That isn't how flame is meant to be used. Do you know the legend of the Watchmen? Those who send returning Terran warriors to sleep in the flame, so they may finally know rest? Your fight is over, soldier. I hope you can find rest just as they did. Leader, I can't. This is an order. As you command. Brigadier, sir. What's the situation with our target? She's been treating any wounded on her way, but otherwise has been headed straight towards our camp. She'll soon reach the Gastrel's gangway. What of the Sarkaz and the other Duke's movements? The Sarkaz have made a few probing attacks with small squads, but are evidently unaware of the situation and have failed to slow her down. Continue surveillance and prepare for her to board. Eliminate any threat to her life. Yes, sir. Another thing, Brigadier, sir. We and you Terrans have already become companions in the battlefield after risking our lives together, yes? No need to beat around the bush. Ask me any question you have. I've heard some rumors regarding the target, that you once planned to get rid of her. So why are you protecting her now? Reporting in. Target is at the gangway. Let her board. Bring her to the command center. The bridge? Let her board and bring her to the Gastrel's command center. Yes, sir. I thought you would have welcomed her personally. Me? I'm no longer qualified. Your Grace? I thought the one waiting for me would be my sister. It is inconvenient for Princess Eblana to meet you at this moment, Miss Loshani. But I am quite interested in how you managed to obtain the GO high ground coordinates. Is it the pharmaceutical company you stay at? That doctor? Yes. Then, my lady, would you kindly pass along a message? The doctor will have to personally come and get whatever is wanted from Terra. The doctor was only helping me meet my sister, expecting nothing from Terra. Only helping to end the war sooner. And I agree. Pardon my frankness, Miss Loshani, but I see only a mouthpiece here, and I believe mouthpieces have no authority to make suggestions. I am no go-between. I represent only myself. Then I shall hear you out. What exactly do you want? Peace. Peace. The cannons still ring, the Sarkaz witchcraft still hovers above our heads, and you speak of peace? It is only because I am meeting you in good faith that I will choose not to regard that as an insult to this war. That is absolutely not my intention. This war continues not because it cannot be ended, Your Grace. Even I can tell the Sarkaz are running out of time. The Victorians have surrounded the city but have refrained from an assault in order to preserve their strength. I suppose they plan to starve out the city. They do not care if any of their own countrymen remain inside. It does not matter if they actually are, so long as they don't see a single one when they eventually enter the city. An ugly tactic, if there ever was one. The root of ugliness is cowardice, as it always has been. The morality of one's actions does not diminish its cowardice, Miss Loshani. Cowardice is when you hesitate to take responsibility. Which is why I am standing before you now. I hope that you and your forces can put an end to this ugly siege, break the Sarkaz's fragile front, and spare every Victorian in the city from the calamity created by their own people. I see, now I understand why you have come. As Her Highness Eblana has said, you show both compassion and nobility, but those virtues of yours are far from a reason for the Terrans to once again involve themselves in a conflict between the Sarkaz and the Victorians. The Gastrel would not be stationed here if intervention was never an option. I asked for a reason, Miss Loshani. I, the Gastrel, and countless other Terran warriors require good reason enough for us to risk our own lives. Please, Your Grace. Please has no power on the battlefield. Reed tries her best to look straight into Wellington's eyes. She knows well what holds the most power on the battlefield. She knows she is qualified to wield it, and that right is all she has. She also knows that once she uses it, there will be no turning back. But she was never uninvolved, and that is precisely why she came here. Then, Your Grace, I order you, in the name of Terra, I order you to rescue the Victorian civilians inside the city. I order your fleet to smash the weak Sarkaz defense line to bring Londinium the relief she should have had long ago. I order the Terran army to demonstrate noblesse oblige, not for material benefit, but for all to see our glory. As you command. Any other orders? You've been stationed outside Londinium this whole time, yet you acquiesce to my command so easily. Could it be because my sister? No. My presence here means only one thing. That once again I was able to witness the cowardice and evil of the Victorians. As long as you are willing to give orders, you will have command. You merely made a choice to align yourself with Her Highness Ablana and the newborn Terra. I did. I would have come here even if the city was not being besieged. If so, then I believe Her Highness will soon find the time to grant you an audience. I'm sorry to say, but this is truly an inconvenient time for her to meet you. What is she planning? Does it matter? Whether it succeeds or fails, it will nonetheless benefit Terra. Truly, she made a promise and she will honor it. Do excuse me. The command center returns to silence as Reed scrutinizes the conversation they just had. She completed some of her objectives and learned a few things, but is left even more puzzled. She has stepped in and can no longer turn back. Miss Loshini, you are. The General ordered me to escort you out and show you to your cabin. You may spend your time aboard the Gastrel as you please before we reach Terran territory. My apologies, but there are people waiting for me. Do you mean the Terrans who have been following you? The General did consider this. He is willing to send a squad to lead them to our camp here and let them board a ride on a support ship back to the capital, Na Soursea. No, I promised them I would return. Just as I am promising you right now, and have promised His Grace that I will return to Na Soursea. I believe we made that clear in our earlier exchange. My apologies, but I'll need to ask the General about this. He's busy? Ugh, but... What? With your busy schedule even? Yes, as you command. Miss Loshini, I'm listening. Direct orders from the leader. She has instructed us not to interfere with your movements. The leader? Yes. But she does ardently hope that you can stay just a little while longer to witness a grand performance. Are you sure about not meeting her personally? No need to. Strictly speaking, the war has yet to end. Nothing good will come of meeting Loshini now. It would only bring her more confusion. Very well, Your Highness. Please return to the command center and await the good news. Hold on. What do you mean? Seeing that Loshini is willing to tie her own fate to Terra's, we should show her the might of the nation she is about to be part of. Rest assured, we would demonstrate it with the Sarkaz's prompt defeat. But if you prefer a more personal show of force, the Gastrel is more than willing to oblige. Consider it a grand welcome. As my dear sister has made her wishes clear, shouldn't I help her realize them with my own hands? Didn't I tell you it doesn't matter where that vtuber came from? She's helping the Victorian, so she's gotta die. Simple as that. We're no match for her. You're worthless. Bah, forget it. It's just one vtuber. What was that noise? A high-speed battleship, currently speeding towards the city walls. Victorian? It's the Gastrell. It's that Duke of Wellington guy. Not just him. Castor's fleet seems to be spontaneously coordinating with his ships. Raid incoming. Purple flames, Captain. Atop the Gastrell's bow stands the leader of Dublin, purple flames spreading from the tip of her spear to the city walls. Her flames of death erupt the Sarkaz on the perimeter, spreading to adjacent victims as they wantonly seek the next host, leaving only the Nachzerer untouched by fire. Nachzerer, god of war, lord of war and death? A shame there is no longer enough death here to sate you. Even living legends have their endings, but surely becoming the kindling of a new legend is better than wasting away in obscurity. Oh, the brazenly ambitious young Draco. Very well then. Red dragon who toys with life and death on a spear, just how well do you comprehend death? I suppose this is not the worst way to kill time before the war is over. Do try to hold on a little longer, Nachzerer. Let us show those Victorians what death truly is, while the artillery still rings. I have waited a long time, young Draco. You are bolder than the others. Then use those flames of yours to send a message to those cowards surrounding the city. I am here. The war is here. The stench of rot thickens as the ice-cold flames of death rage. Death crashes into death over the faint shelling and thin city walls. They really started fighting? Did the leader? Shush, there's no way she'd... No, we have to go find her. We promised we'd wait for her here. But the fighting's broken out in Londinium again. Just believe in her. I do, but listen, that's the sound of witchcraft and the Duke's cannons. How could the leader... Like she believes in us. The wounded soldier is left speechless, only able to look back on the tranquility now torn apart by flame and chaos, searching for a reason for his squad to join the battlefield. Past the smoke and mire, he sees a figure. The leader, Reed Loshiny. She finished her own fight, held true to her promise, and returns to lead them on to the end of their journey. To home, to peace. Let's go, everyone. What is happening here is no longer something we can involve ourselves in. It's time to head home. That's it? I wasn't aware, or rather, I don't remember reading in the main chapters Eblana and Nezalem fighting. We know, based on the other siege event, that Nezalem died eventually against the Victorian army led by Siege in combat. So it's curious. But I'm ready and excited to read about this other Draco, so... Here's the files on Chernobog, Chief. They're on your desk. Hope you can find the info you wanted somewhere in those dusty papers. Thanks for sorting them out, Xenia. The assistant closes the door as he leaves, as usual. It scrapes against the uneven flooring, letting out a shrieking sound. The editor sits up straight, lights a cigarette, and pushes through the discomfort as he flips through the stack of old newspapers. The Third Army's dereliction of duty in the Chernobog incident. Same old, same old. Chernobog closes mine, a heavy blow to Ursus's originium industry. Nova Chernobog, the infected lives a blessed life under His Majesty's glory. Utter drivel. No, this isn't what I want. These trashy tabloids are barely scratching the surface. None of these reports are anywhere close to the truth. The editor pushes up his glasses and flicks away some stray cigarette ash, but accidentally sends sparks flying onto the paper. He rushes to extinguish the sudden fire, but the newspaper already bears a freshly burnt hole. Through the hole, the editor sees an ensemble of letters, Reunion, a name he has never heard of before. In the last few days, a stream of infected have been showing up wanting to join Reunion. I told them we'll be leaving Londinium in 1 month's time, heading for the Duke of Gododin's territory. Are they willing to follow us there? They neither agreed nor refused. They couldn't come up with an answer. I'll prepare for bringing them along. They have nowhere else to go. Gododin. I hear the Dukes issued more than a few decrees benefiting the infected, so it's worth checking out. Decrees and reality are not the same thing. Obviously, which is why we need to see for ourselves. From a corner comes a rustling sound as Chen turns a newspaper page. Nothing to say even after listening in for so long, Chen? Everything you've talked about is internal business. As an outsider, I have no right to comment. I've been focusing on the news anyway. You weren't this quiet with many of the others in private. We need your thoughts, Huichie. When I let you tag along with us, it wasn't just to show you how different we are from the other organizations. Don't go getting the idea that you'd have to take responsibility for either of us. Given our current situation, anyone's input is welcome, as long as we can help these people out. So speak your mind. You're planning to take in people with nowhere else to go? Why not? They'll bring new vitality to our group. Or new conflicts. This group you've gathered under the banner of what you're calling Reunion is as ragtag as they come. Is this what you promised me when you left? Not to mention her. Chen looks towards the indifferent Tallulah. You're bound to attract more eyes in the future. So if you ask me, I suggest staying in Londinium for a while and restructuring yourselves. You mean letting someone more suitable handle it? I won't deny that. Just look at the people you have here. Criminals, infected, deserters. Do you have a clue where you're taking them? We're not going to stay here forever, at the very least. What is it? What's the hurry? 9. Red just came back with some urgent news. Ugh. He shoots a glance at Chen. Ever since the stranger called Chen showed up, his companions have been behaving strangely. She rarely leaves Tallulah and 9 alone, but she has never once commented on Reunion's actions either. Go on, she's one of us. Troops from the Ducal Alliance are approaching the factory. Should we get them to leave? Ducal troops? They can't be coming for us, but I'll head there myself and see what's going on. Tallulah, keep everyone else hidden. Alright. So you agree with 9's methods? Not exactly, but this group is nothing like the original group I traveled with on the tundra. Unfortunately, oppressed peoples are treated the same way no matter where they are. No one cares where we go, Huichie, only where we decide to stop. and then they'll figure out how to drive us away. Reunion. It's a mistake I've made myself. 9 has no intention of wiping my slate clean, but if she needs me to come up with a new meaning, I have no right to refuse. And her conscience is crystal clear. 9 and myself, we know very well what we're doing. But you, Huichie, you chased me, or rather, Reunion, all the way here. Why are you still delaying what you decided long ago? Tallulah leaves. Chen doesn't catch up with her. Keep moving, you beasts. Don't stop. Shh, bloody bastards. Get up, now. Look at these disgusting sick freaks. Wish I could just get rid of them here and now. The Exemplar's territory is just ahead. Are you considering dumping our rubbish right on their doorstep? I say we stay out of trouble. They've already set up garbage disposal stations, so no littering. Garbage disposal. I won't ask when or where you got your orders, soldier, but this is no place for an execution. Ah, the infected hiding in the factory. You should be thankful that we're busy catching these devils instead of... The air grows warm. 9 casts a quick glance towards a corner shrouded in darkness. Within it, a fire ignites, then slowly dims. Did you just feel a tingling on your skin? Like I got burned by fire. Itching for a fight, huh? This factory area is under the Exemplar's protection. So why don't you go ask your superiors if they'd mind an idiotic subordinate stirring up conflict here and smashing this hard-won piece to pieces? I think you'll know how to speak to us after that. But suppose our allies, our friends, were to show inappropriate sympathy and compassion towards our common enemy. I imagine my superiors would be humming a different tune. Move, infected. They don't sound like they came from Kazdel. Devils are freakishly good at disguises. There's no way we're letting a devil merc slide past us. Get moving, you damn devils. Ugh. The squad escorting the Sarkaz slowly trudge through the long street, though both captors and captives look exhausted and numb. 9 watches as they leave and spots a few teenagers stumbling at the end of the downcast parade of prisoners. Bastards. Here's the place, sir. The blaze lasted for 3 days and left basically nothing behind. Did the fire spread anywhere other than the patrol unit's outpost? No, but many miners seized the chance to escape. Everyone was so scared, didn't know when the patrol unit would arrive. But seems like you got here first. You said you're a reporter? But who's to say for sure? Let's not get into that. So if the management here has always been hard on everyone, how did the miners carry out the arson? The miners? No. The village had an old noble from the city. Good heart, that man, but a bit too kind-hearted if you ask me. Couldn't stand what was happening in the mines, always talking about rescuing the miners. We thought it was all talk, but in the end, he really went and did it. Oh, then where is he now? Must have died in the blaze with the patrol unit. Ha, a noble who bravely sacrificed his life to help the suffering infected miners. That would make a pretty good headline. The reporter gazes at the scorched land. Nearby buildings have been reduced to rubble, and in place of the once lush forest stands unsightly tree stumps. Suddenly, a scorch mark draws his attention. It looks unusual, almost aesthetically pleasing. Do you know who left this mark here? That's just from the fire. I'm not buying that. It looks like a symbol to me. So who left it here? No clue. It was just here after the fire. So you're saying it was a deliberate act, an attempt to send out a signal. Salvation. Am I? Didn't you just explain the real history behind it for me? No need to rush. Get in line. Everyone will get some. How much longer do we have to stay here, Miss Chen? When will the next squad leave the city? Don't worry, you're safe here. I've reached out through many different channels to get everyone out of here. I heard the Sarkaz hunting soldiers have found this place. If they find out you're sheltering us... Sheltering? Why speak as if you're fugitives on the run? You're citizens of Londinium, victims of this war. We were already unwelcome long before the Sarkaz troops entered the city. Believe me, it's more than just soldiers on that team. Being a Sarkaz is already a crime, the worst one you can commit. Doesn't matter if you took part in the war or not. I know. Anyways, thanks for taking us in. I ironed it out with the others. We'll wait 3 days for a chance to leave the city. If we don't get one, we'll go by ourselves. It's not the best time to leave. The soldiers have been even more active recently. All the more reason to get out as soon as we can. Every day we put it off will only worsen the situation. If you insist, we'll help you out. Appreciate the generosity. I suggest you guys do the same. Who do you think they'll target next once the city's out of Sarkaz? Most of you are infected. You should know how their nobles treat you guys. Today's paper, sir. I can't be bothered to read, Alyosha. Anything noteworthy? New tax polys, some literary works, a few scandals, and revolts all over the country. Let me see. Finally, some real reporting. I thought those daty Grifferberg reporters only knew how to run tabloids. Infected have been striking at factories and outposts across the country. Some regions are experiencing a surge of uprisings, as infected have brazenly attacked outposts and government agencies, causing serious losses. It is said they are inspired by an infected organization known as Reunion. Oh look, they even left some symbols. Do you wish to end your convalescence now? Of course not. Do you even realize how hard it is for me to get a vacation? But your colleagues from the propaganda department have visited you many times already. Oh, my dear Alyoshenka, our dear nation has been suffering from a chronic disease for quite some time, and there are many who wish to heal her. But to do so, these rotten old wounds must first see the light of day. I've had enough of my colleagues patching them up over and over. How should I reply then? Tell them any discussion must wait until my vacation is over. Did they ransack the streets again for another batch of prisoners? Here's your soup, Tallulah. Thanks. Too bland? We'll have to ransack our stash to get the last of the salt. It's fine. Good even. Heh, ransack. That's a good word. Only a week ago they wouldn't have come here, let alone taken any children among the prisoners. But we just saw both happen. They've been dead set on wiping out any trace of the Sarkaz for the past 2 weeks. At first, it was just Sarkaz soldiers who couldn't evacuate in time. Next, it was any Sarkaz civilian who had any dealings with the army. Now, even Londinium-born Sarkaz aren't being spared. I thought you'd make a move, Huichie. That would only complicate things. We're in Victoria, so I have to act more cautiously. That'll only cost us more time. A few days ago, I saw a group of kids harassing a poor woman. All she did was to marry a Sarkaz and raise their children together. This is how they treated the infected before the war, and now it's the Sarkaz's turn. Eventually, every Londinium citizen will face this. Time is what these mistreated people lack most. Nine pauses to glance at Tallulah right beside her. However, she seems unusually calm, as if the sudden temperature increase earlier was just a hallucination. I thought you'd make a move on the Victorians earlier. It was only a warning. It'd only bring us more trouble if we pestered them any further. Huichi has a point. We should keep a low profile until we're forced to show ourselves. Attacking Ducal Alliance troops on the factory streets certainly won't do anything to improve the lives of the workers here. So you weren't angry. What you're experiencing, I have too, long ago. But at least Sarkaz's blood isn't contagious like Oripathy. I've long since learned to control my rage. At the very least, I won't waste it on clueless underlings like the soldiers from before. This war has turned the oppressed into oppressors. It's not their fault. Then who should the innocent Sarkaz vent their anger on? Remember that Sarkaz merchant with the motorbike who helped us get supplies? The infected killed him out of fear. Now, that fear is spreading unchecked as the Sarkaz are gradually retreating. Infected, soldiers, nobles, even civilians who've never seen war, everyone thinks they're in the right. So you're correct, Tallulah. Sarkaz's blood isn't contagious like Oripathy, but hatred and fear are. You've decided then. To save the Sarkaz, I see no need to hesitate. They're no different from us. I'm just not sure how to minimize the fallout, so I need your help. Keep the people at camp safe, as well as the workers. If you need my flames to burn for them, I won't hesitate. Red, let the workers know our plan. Those willing to join can stay. Anyone too afraid to escape, bring them to the Exemplar's camp. Got it. Chen. You can try to stop us, or you can leave and pretend nothing happened. Saving those Sarkaz means you'll have to change everything you've planned. And if you go with them, none of the Dukes will let you stay long in their domain, 9. They won't let us stay long anyway, even without those people. We're infected, Chen. Maybe your time at Rhodes Island has made you forget how we're actually treated. Then where will you go next? So you agree with our plan? Even prisoners shouldn't be executed so hastily. They don't even have an official order. Huichi, the issue isn't where 9 and the others want to go, but where they're needed. We'll find a place that truly needs us, Chen. Not just the infected. Anyone enslaved or deprived of their right to a fair chance at survival. A place with no discrimination or oppression. You know as well as the rest of us that'll be difficult, if not impossible, 9. Of course, but this is the path a man we all knew left us before he died. Guard. Someone has to see it through, Huichi. This new reunion makes their own medicine and strives to help anyone in need without asking for anything tangible in return. Change is happening, but it's too fragile. They need something to believe in, an objective. That's the only way they can push forward. I don't completely agree with 9's way of doing things, but I see no reason to refuse to cooperate either. She's always admired the fairness you seek, Huichi. So why not take a look at what she seeks? On the tundra, ignored by the Emperor's edict, rebel activity has intensified, with thousands of infected banding together to break their shackles and regain their freedom. We've achieved what used to be unthinkable. Ever since that first fire ignited by that anonymous noble, many of us have been communicating in hushed tones. Is there someone leading us? To be honest, I'm not sure myself. What I do know is that our call to rise up has not been silenced, and is even now trying to escape from the tundra and its army of trees blocking the way. Our proof is that unique symbol everyone's curious about, the symbol scorched by flame. The hoarse voice on the radio smashes the countryside's peace apart. People open their doors or climb onto windowsills, listening quietly. The broadcast excites them, their palms feeling hot even though they live in a place with temperatures far below zero. Then they light up torches in the center of the village. The light illuminates their eyes and warms the bodies underneath their thin layers of clothing. Soon, nearby villages spot the firelight and start bonfires one after the other. On the dark tundra, countless fires light up the night sky. We gather in this uninhospitable tundra, following in their footsteps to take root here. Everyone has heard of the group that disappeared into Chernobog to fight for the infected. Reunion. Have they heard our call? Have they finally returned? Alrighty, you drags, turn around. Sir, please, spare my life, please. I was born here. I'm different from the rest, sir, please. I said shut it. Sir, please. Kid, he doesn't give a damn who you are. He just wants to kill every Sarkaz he sees. Shut up. The boy suddenly smells a strange scent. It makes him recall his mother's perfume as she hugged him. Countless flowers bloom on the blood-stained floors and the scent grows stronger. The executioner suddenly coughs violently until he throws up a cluster of bloody flower bloods. Ugh, you. Get them out of here. Our people will know what to do. You lot don't. 9. Stop your Originium arts. You already saved the Sarkaz. Killing them is a step too far. Couldn't you have just kept silent as usual, Chen? Stop making more enemies everywhere you go unless you want the Dukes chasing after Reunion once you leave the city. Tallulah can make sure it looks like an accidental blaze. No, they'll only put the blame on the Sarkaz, calling it an act of revenge. And then what? Who will the Dukes turn their gaze to? More innocent Sarkaz. Or say, an infected group wandering around Victoria with who knows how many Sarkaz in tow. Letting them go will only make things worse. Tell me, Chen, when we finally come face to face with the Ducal Alliance with no chance at escape, how will you keep the infected and innocent Sarkaz there safe? Ugh. Enough! There's still other ways. The tip of Chen's sword touches Nine's throat. I've imagined this happening countless times. Also, Huffy note here, Chen, if you have something to say, then say it. Don't just say there's other ways. You have to actually say what you're thinking. In fact, I'm shocked it didn't happen sooner. I went to school with many of their superior officers. I can talk to them. As what? As a former senior inspector of the LGD? As Operator Chen of Rhodes Island, or what? An old classmate reminiscing about the good old days? I can guarantee these Sarkaz will be safe at least. Of course, I trust you'll keep that promise. But you're missing my point, Chen. There are limits to one person's power. Even you can't help the people you can't see. I know your capabilities all too well, and that's exactly why I'm even more sure that your momentary kindness won't change a thing. It can't. What I need is people willing to follow us to see with their own eyes what we have to do. Spare me the sophistry, Nine. I'm only looking at the facts. Sophistry, huh? Maybe we're all seeking fairness, but our interpretations of it are different. This is why I've long since given up hope of you coming to understand me and the future I'm looking forward to. You can most certainly try to arrest me, Officer Chen. Chi Xiao stays in place and Nine's gaze remains on Chen. A flaming sword shakes Chi Xiao away. This isn't the place to wax nostalgic about your old days on the Force. Tallulah stabs her longsword in the ground, separating the all tensed up two. I didn't call for your help, Tallulah. Don't act like you know everything better. 9. There is nothing wrong with Huichi's idea. Dukes would be overjoyed at someone volunteering to remove every last Sarkaz from Londinium. They might not make any moves on us. But more importantly, there are still eyes on the both of you. They only care about one thing. Where should they go now? The rescued Sarkaz and the Reunion members following 9 are both terrified. They have no idea what to do next. Many of them can't understand exactly what it is you want, 9. They just want to live. They need time. It might take a while to show them the future you see. Of course I know that. I have the patience to wait for my sophistry to bloom into a concrete plan of action. And will you achieve that with even more sacrifices? How do you decide who? Enough. I'm not here to determine which one of you is right or wrong. It's not my place to. But for now, just take them away from here. Take everyone who's willing to leave the city with us. Huichie might manage to prevent the Victorians from harassing us in the short term, but we'll still have to prepare for the worst. Are you giving me an order, Tallulah? No, I'm offering my opinion. But where can you go? Your identities are too conspicuous. Is this where you say we should go to Rhodes Island? Yes, I have to see the both of you judged. But not right now. Many infected are still relying on you, and I can't just leave them in the dust. Ha! Classic Officer Chen. Want my opinion? Whenever Tallulah proactively offers her thoughts to Nine, it often leaves the Fidya with even more doubts towards her. But Tallulah has never fallen behind. She always walks silently in the center of their group, so inconspicuous that people forget she exists. Reunion's leader, Kashi's adopted daughter, and the manipulative mastermind behind the Chernobog disaster. Tallulah, regarded as a hero by infected who do not know the truth. Her sword begins to burn and its flames spread across the floor. They jump and fall, outlining a symbol. The firelight reflects in the trio's eyes, but their faces still bear some gloom. The mark once represented a dark past. Within it hides all sorts of crimes and injustices, certain to sting if revealed for all to see. Ursus. We can go back to Ursus. That's a terrible idea. What, thinking about your unfinished business over there? No, I want to right my wrongs. I've received news from Ursus. The infected are breaking their shackles and congregating on the tundra again. They claim to be answering the call of reunion and have decided to stand up and fight for the rights and freedoms the infected and other oppressed deserve. They were inspired by a lie, but their determination to fight back is certainly real. So they gave you the courage to recall the good old days? It's not only infected over there. There are students, exiled officers, soldiers, guilt-ridden nobles. It's exactly the strength you need. Strength that ignores the differences in race or identity and crushes the fear of disease, united by a common goal. Besides, it'll take time to leave with this many people, and I think that should be long enough for you to explain Guard's precious dream to those still willing to follow you. You don't want to restore Reunion's reputation? No, I never expected it to hold such a large influence even today. Even if the Ursus Empire has long since covered up what happened at Chernobog. The voices craving resistance are like water. They might be burnt and dry up, but they'll eventually return to the land as rain. Returning to Ursus is easier said than done. There are too many factors involved and more things for me to confirm. That's your problem, not ours. Tallulah, even if Reunion can turn a new leaf, representing once again freedom and happiness. What about you, Tallulah? Your sins can't be washed away. Your existence is Reunion's darkest history. How can you face the pure white tundra as you are? I know what I stand here today, no longer as a leader, but as a symbol, a flag, or even a weapon to be wielded. But I'll take it. I'll accept the shackles you place on me. I've had many different identities. Draco, noble, leader, infected, none of these matter anymore. Today I remain only someone who once scattered the seeds of sin. The wrongs I commit in Ursus will repay in Ursus. Repay. You make it sound so simple. I will not act just as a flag this time. Then how? I'll throw myself into a true blaze and let it all burn until even the tundra's chill melts away. I'll go back to Ursus to truly face my own trial. And you can be there to witness it, Nine. Witness the end of Reunion and the birth of something new from its corpse. That's what you truly want, is it not? You really don't mind? The reunion of my heart died long ago on the tundra, along with my companions. I'll go with you. Scared I'll harm more innocents? Both you and Nine. After following Reunion for a while, I can confirm that the group has changed somewhat. For good or bad, I can't say. I don't want to miss your trial, but I also don't want to jump to any hasty conclusion about whether the path 9 insists on is correct. From now on, I'll keep an eye on you as Rhodes Island Operator Chen. I need to keep Rhodes Island informed no matter what happens in Ursus. Tallulah, 9, I'm responsible for you both. Whatever. Now you should probably get going. Leave the soldiers to me. I'll catch up after I make sure they're okay. We didn't say we'd wait for you. Have you ever? I've always had to catch up on my own. Onwards to Ursus, then. Onwards to Ursus. The flames continue to spread slowly from the tip of the blade. Hot flames lick the bodies piled up in a corner, gently enveloping them. Amid the light crackling of the fire, Tallulah silently prays for the flames to bring them to a brighter and warmer place. I thought that was the whole point. They didn't kill anyone. So what bodies is she burning? This one seems to be a little bit different as opposed to other stories like Eblana and Tallulah. They are the face of each story that we've read so far, but they are almost not the main characters of each, right? Like for Eblana's, it was Reed was the main POV character. For Tallulah's, it was 9 or Chen. They were very passive in their own chapters, which is kind of strange to see. Stay close to me, Ollie. You've got to stick close if you don't want me carrying you. Grab onto my clothes, okay? Mommy can't hold your hand right now. My palms are all slippery with sweat, so grab on tight to my clothes. Colin? Colin? Where are you? Is there a way out? Oh no, this isn't gonna work. We should head back home and hide. Ollie's too little for this. Colin. Ah! Over here, I found a way. The exemplars are drawing the devils away. If we can avoid the explosions. Avoid the explosions? Do you remember how Schwal from the grocer tripped and fell on that patch of red glow? It was only a palm-sized wound, but it bled him dry. Did you forget? It's like the blood was sucked right out of him. Can you really call that just an explosion? It's because his wound never healed. We'll be fine as long as we're careful not to get cut or scraped. The one thing we can't do is turn back. The explosion just now sounded too close. I'd rather head back than die halfway knowing without what's happening. Your grandmother's still in the city. Going back now would only mean more danger. We can't say for sure that all the Sarkaz have left the lockdown zone. You came from outside? Are you with the Exemplars? Are you here to help us? Please. Sorry, I'm not with the Exemplars, and I'm not here to rescue people. I only came to Londinium to look for someone. Who could be so important that you'd wear out your shoes running around Londinium at a time like this, looking for them? But if you're not with the Exemplars, then you're just another poor sod like us. Let's go back, Colin. The man sighs and looks around cautiously. The optician has returned to Londinium for the first time in many years, but the view he sees now is as if he's looking at a city through a lens in the heat of his workshop, blurred and distorted. By the time the image clears up, the only thing he can see is chaos. Trying to find an elusive presence in this bedlam will be no easy task, let alone someone whose appearance he does not even know. Could you show us the way out, good sir? I'll give you everything I have. If you manage to enter the lockdown zone without a scratch, you must know a safe route, please. The gaunt man empties his pockets, takes out a few pieces of bread from a bag, and tries to stuff them into Noel's hands. The woman also takes out what few coins she has on her. Noel does not take them. He shakes his head, knowing that it is a thin line that separates these three people from the exsanguinated corpse by the roadside. And he stands behind that tiny divide, always a spectator. He has tried to reach out before, but his hands cannot save everyone. I'm sorry. Sir. Let's go, Colin. It's no use. There's no other way. I'm not with the Exemplars, but I know where their camp is. I can take you there. Thank you so much. But that's all I can do. It's plenty, we'll go with you. What about your grandmother, Colin? We'll come back for her once it's all over. The devils may be cruel, but even they wouldn't hurt the helpless old folks in the sanatorium. Right? I'll lead you out. After that, you're on your own. That's plenty, good sir. I couldn't possibly ask for any more. Thank you so much. No need to thank me. Grab your child and follow me. This way. This path will take you straight to the city walls. The Exemplars have set up camp around a breach in the wall. You could also seek refuge with the Ducal Alliance's army outside. What about you, sir? I gather you aren't coming with us. You saved our lives. I don't know how you did it, but if there's anything we can do for you... No need, my wounds have healed. Even with your unique talents, the Canoes won't show you any more mercy than they do us. You should come with us. You're Victorian, too. No, I've come this far. I have to find the one I'm looking for. I have no reason to stop. You mentioned you were looking for someone. Who? This is not the first time she's asked, but is the first time she hears something other than calmness in his voice. The numerous wounds the man took, which should have killed him many times over, have all healed. Any bleeding quickly stopped, and even Sarkaz's art circles could not affect him. Only the pain persists. Even so, he clenches his fist. I'm looking for the one who gave me this talent. What do we do, sir? This way, I'll shield you. Leave before the next barrage begins. Out of the way. Today I'm finally getting out of this hellhole. Out of the way. Stay back, sir. Children and the elderly have priority. The hell they do. The Self-Salvation Corps evacuation route is the safest way. If you insist on leaving on your own, be my guest. Who are you? Me? I'm the leader of the Londinium Self-Salvation Corps. You can call me Clovicia. This girl. I heard someone has been helping evacuate the citizens in this district. We appreciate your assistance. The Self-Salvation Corps will take it from here. I can still help. It's dangerous. We can't ask you to risk your life for others. We cannot promise a reward either. No, you don't understand. I'm afraid we don't have time to discuss this. Long story short, let's just say I've got a sort of curse on me. There's no need to worry about my safety. I'll cover you to help more people evacuate. Besides, I'm still looking for someone here. You were so close, bro. That's the last of them. Where is that Self-Salvation Corps leader, Clovicia? Noel looks around and grabs a man who looks like a worker passing by. Excuse me. Ouch. Sorry, I didn't notice that your other arm was injured. I can treat your wound if you like. Never mind, what do you want? Have you seen Clovicia, the leader of the Self-Salvation Corps? She was leading groups of citizens being evacuated. We agreed to meet back here before splitting up, but I haven't seen her. The citizens have been led to safety. As for her, she's probably still organizing the final evacuation efforts. I can't be sure though, we're all busy after all. So she was here earlier. Seems like your routes are quicker and safer than mine. We know Londinium Underground better, but nothing's completely safe. Clovicia is needed at the front line, guiding citizens away from the remaining Sarkaz mercs. You might find her in the lockdown zone if you're not afraid of the devil's traps. You seem to have rescued quite a few people yourself. You might be able to help out. Thank you. Sir, good sir. Have you seen my Ollie, my son with the red hair? Quiet boy, only about as tall as my knee. Have you seen him? What? My son, he's gone. I lost him. Ollie. Bloody hell, where did he go? He kept asking about your grandmother, Colin. Maybe he was worried. Have you searched the area? Yes, the folks who came with us helped out too. The only place left is the lockdown zone, but that doesn't bother me, I'll go. But Clovicia is. Just tell her I've already brought those people out safely. I'll go with you. No, you stay here. No, I mean Clovicia is back. With a red-haired child in her arms. What? Where are they? Everyone looks in the direction the man is pointing. That was when everything went wrong. No. Everybody get back. It's Ollie. She has Ollie. Don't go. Noel only has time to grab the hysterical woman. A flash of red as far as the eye can see, and then the ground opens up like a gaping maw, swallowing the leader of the Self-Salvation Corps. All eyes are trained on the epicenter of the tremor. The one within it holds the child tightly in her arms until the very end. The dust cloud disperses and all is quiet again for now. Partings like this have become a familiar sight to the people here. The outcome never changes regardless of the victim. Wait, keep your distance. Noel knows all too well that there can sometimes be secondary explosions or aftershocks. Ollie! Ollie! Get a search party together. Anyone who can still move. Sir, you're still here. Please help Ollie. You're not afraid of the devil's traps. Your wounds heal quickly, and you're so brave. Could you at least bring him back? He's still so little. In Noel's long life, there have been precious few things he was able to control. He has an ocean of memories, but it is not up to him which ones float to the surface. Like an ordinary mortal, he can be distracted by flashbacks of the past that seem to overlap with the present as he gathers the weight of all those years. This will do. Are you sure this is where we stop? Are you sure? You won't stay. He's still so little. My youngest child, he doesn't even know the word grandpa yet. Too long. It's been too long, my child. I should have gone with your mother, but I've waited so long enough for you to grow older than your father. I've accomplished nothing, spent my life in hesitation, and lingered in this world for far too long. So long, in fact, that I've become a stranger to the children. If there is one way to end my fate as a bystander, now is the time. Noel looks to the scene of the explosion and collapse. In the hole formed from brick and rubble, he seems to see visions of a dark mire from a century past. It was a morning like this. He had heard the same pleading which he had stubbornly chosen to ignore, instead setting upon a path in search of a death that could never come. This time, he will not make the same choice again. Clovicia shielded the child's head before she fell. Sir, there is at least a chance that Ollie survived, but no more than a chance. But that's enough. I will go and find them. Guided by the Self-Salvation Corps, Noel attempts to enter the underground ruins, helped by his years of experience in sheer immortality. About 300 meters to the west. His steps are light and brisk, never stopping until the sight before his eyes changes. A red-headed child lies quietly beside a pile of collapsed rubble near the remnants of a activated art circle. He hurries forward and takes the child into his arms. The boy's chest rises and falls rhythmically with his breathing. He could have been asleep in bed if not for the ash and gravel in his hair. Phew. Just passed out, no serious injuries. He was left here by himself, but he didn't fall here directly. Looks like I made it in time. Clovicia could be nearby. She put Ollie here. Clovicia, are you there? If you hear me, knock on something hard. Clovicia, can you... He takes a few steps and comes face to face with the truth. The young Self-Salvation Corps leader is half buried in rubble, not stirring in the slightest. Her eyelids are shut gently, naturally as though she's only sleeping. Will she sleep here forever, underground? A moment of pain and a fall that lasted a second at most, leaving behind only peace. Noel could not help but think, if I could die, would I die with that same expression on my face? Ovicia. Ah. The aftershock sends gravel flying, like a foul beast shaking off water after a rain. It is quick, scattered, and unpredictable. Noel did not even have time to check Lovicia for signs of life. No. As the place threatens to shake itself apart, he bends over and protects the child from falling rocks with his own body. The sharper pieces easily pierce his clothes and skin, digging deep into flesh and bone. He remains unmoving, clenching his teeth, waiting for the tremors to cease. He is awake from his pained trance by the sound of crying. The boy had awoken to find himself in a dark, unfamiliar underground space. Following his instincts, he began to cry helplessly. Good morning, Ollie. It'll be okay. Everything will be okay. I'm here. It's Noel. We've met before, remember? The aftershocks cease. Carrying Ollie with one hand and supporting himself with the other, he forces himself to sit up, pushing the weight off his back. Fortunately, it is broken fragments of rock rather than a single, heavy slab, but he can still taste blood in his mouth as he moves. In his arms, the child shakes his head helplessly in the darkness, hardly able to see anything. Clovicia, she saved your life. I'll get you out safely. Then I'll come back to bring her back. This is no resting place for her. Noel sits down, puts the trembling boy on the ground, and reaches behind to pull the fragments out of his own back. The boy grabs Noel's clothes. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you behind. It's okay, it won't kill me. Nothing can. A smile, understood only by him, appears on his lips. Meanwhile, his fingers locate the final fragment lodged between his scapula. He grits his teeth and pulls it out. Ah. Did I spook you, Ollie? Sorry. Don't worry, come with me and I'll get you out, whatever it takes. Enduring pain had become a habit. Noel lifts the child again and searches his memory for a path that will take them to safety. I came from this way. Hang in there, Ollie. We'll get you out soon. Your parents are waiting. What is it? You want to get down? It's quicker and safer if I carry you. Don't you want to see your mom sooner? Alright, stick close to me and don't let go. The child nods and grabs the corner of Noel's clothes. He even wraps it around his palms tightly without being told, indicating that he understands Noel. Alright, let's... You've walked a long path. Poor soul. Suddenly he hears an ethereal voice echoing in every direction. A mist spreads in the darkness surrounding him. Why have you come? Noel can recognize that voice anywhere. He cannot move. A sudden cold fury befits his reason, nailing him to the spot. What do you want? Stop. He does not know why the voice chose this moment to appear. Instinctive mistrust overcomes all judgment. Stop your parlor tricks. I thought you wanted to meet me. What are you talking about? Who are you? Where are you? I am here. You came for me and I came for you. All you need to do is open your eyes. Noel has never seen the owner of the voice nor gathered any clues about their appearance. Over the long years, all he could do was piece together rumor after rumor, letting questions simmer into hatred. If this voice is real, not his imagination, then it must. Is that so? Then I'm sure you can tell me. Are you the wish-granting fairy, or the powerful nation's sentinel? The unicorn, hidden in the shadows of history, is both benefactor and villain. I am all that and none of that. I am merely here now to promise a reparation to you, poor soul. You don't even know my name. What I went through must have been insignificant, hardly a footnote to a legend like you, compared to the affairs you've meddled with. That is untrue. You harbored a possibility that I placed hope in. How would one little weed of unknown grow if it never wilts? And how will it affect the lands around it? That was my thought when I bestowed immortality upon you, what should have been a blessing. Blessing. Your arrogant blessing has brought me nothing but an eternity of pain. That was not my intention. But that's what it became. Death by 1,000 cuts, except you wouldn't even let me die. It's nothing but a curse. I understand your anger. Tell me, what will make you feel better? Ha. What, will you bestow another blessing upon me? Noel can feel the child grab his clothes even tighter. Can you hear me, Ollie? This voice is a liar. Don't listen to it. Don't think about it. I'll take you out of here. Whoever you are, you can ask those legendary heroes who dance with you. Me, I'm leaving. Few are those who hold the helm in the tides of history. Are you complaining? To me? If you consider my blessing a curse, I might offer you reparations. Make a wish. What is it that you want? A name, thinks Noel, just a name. This bastard, this villain who stands ever on high because of her powers, has long forgotten the weed's name. You have a chance. You have already gained much more than the common man. She must be filled with pity as she gazes upon me. You poor, insignificant creature, I will help you. I will help you always. Let us wipe away the tragic past with a beautiful future. Ha! Have you made up your mind? Let's go, Ollie. We've wasted enough time here. Yes, child, I'm here. Don't be afraid of the voice. It's just a bad guy. No different from the ones ravaging the city above. I'll come back to catch it later, but first I need to get you out. Phew. It's Ollie. Mr. Noel found him. Over here, a hand. Careful, child. I'll lift you up. Take it easy. No worries. I'm up here. I'll grab him. Your turn, Mr. Noel. Are you hurt? Do you need a hand? No need. Noel clambers up friskily, but stops at the edge of the tunnel entrance rather than walking towards the crowd gathered not too far away. He looks up again at the sun shrouded by thick clouds. It is one of countless sunrises he has seen, but this one is a little different because of those who have lived to see it. Ollie, my baby. Oh, the fright you gave me. Next time I'm holding on to you and never letting go. I won't let this happen again. Where did this blood come from? Are you hurt? Strange, I don't see any wounds. Ollie, where's the lady who found you first? Is she still... She wasn't down there? Oh, you're always like this. Well, it's all good. I'm so glad you came back safely. Thank you so much, Mr. Noel. The man waves at Noel with something other than anxiety or panic on his face. It is a smile of gratitude with a sincerity that makes Noel awkward. All he can do is nod and smile back. You're welcome. But the man keeps walking until he's right in front of him and reaches out a hand, as though words alone cannot express his gratitude. And so Noel keeps the smile on his face and shakes the extended hand almost unconsciously. Only then does he finally realize that pain is spreading from his back to his chest to the rest of his body. He has difficulty breathing and bends down, grabbing his own collar. The wounds he received from the rubble have still not started to heal. Sir, are you okay? My goodness, you're back. I didn't realize you were so badly injured. We have to find a doctor. Oh, how silly of me. You're a doctor yourself. I'm injured? The wound on your back, it's still bleeding. It's so big and there's more than one. Are they not healing yet? No, that's normal for us, but I suppose it must be strange to you. What happened down there? How did you get hurt? That leader of the Self-Salvation Corps is down there too, isn't she? She protected Ollie. I have something to do for her. At least bring her body back. Clovicia. Her name was Clovicia? That does ring a bell now that you mention it. I didn't even get a good look at her before it all happened. I heard she was a great woman. I'm the leader of Londinium Self-Salvation Corps. You can call me Clovicia. I am all that and none of that. We cannot promise a reward either. I am merely here now to promise reparation to you, poor soul. I'm afraid we don't have time to discuss this. Tell me, what will make you feel better? A great woman? Ha! I don't know. Clovicia, he had passed right by the one he had spent his entire life looking for without even realizing it. But it is no longer important. With great effort, Noel looks up, fighting against the pain and difficulty of breathing. In his blurry vision, he sees a child clutching his mother's hands tightly. The boy is the very picture of health, his hair and skin a warm color, with a smile on his face, just like... I'll take you to the Self-Salvation Corps, or the Exemplars. They must have medics. No. What? Why? Just like the sun. Mr. Noel, are you okay? Hang in there. Noel falls to his knees, no longer able to support his own weight. It is as though the fatigue of 100 years of wandering has come upon him in an instant. Before his hands and feet grow cold from blood loss, he curls his body down, ignoring the searing pain as the wounds in his back stretch, until his head touches the ground. It is a posture of worship and reverence, but he is not praying to anyone. He lifts his head after a little while. The leader of the Self-Salvation Corps was not in the ruins. The pain lingers, as does the urge to cry his heart out. But all is silent, and only the beating of the heart resonates in his chest. The thing that would make him happy, the thing that can kill him, it is already here. What was that? Clovicia wasn't there. What about your injuries? Right now, rather than spending my time on futile efforts, I should spend it on saving more people. Wow, so just like that, he lost it. Just like that. And Clovicia never even really introduced herself to him. So she must have recognized him immediately and was just playing games. And so now he joins Rhodes Island. Is the Noel that we have? He was a medic, I believe, right? Yeah. He doesn't have his immortality anymore, I think. I guess we'd have to farm more to figure that out.
Doctor, it's great to see you.
Oops. Alright, 3 left. The soil of this foreign land is soaked with the blood of the Sarkaz. Churned, jumbled, I can sense a chaotic mess of emotions tangled together. Hesitation, wrath, cowardice, homesickness. Was this what you wished for, Your Highness? Sleep, my kin. As long as blood continues to flow, reliefful pain will soon follow. Have I arrived too late? Perhaps. If this war can truly come to an end, if this end can truly determine who wins and who loses, when have we ever won? I ask. I've never been fond of watching the clock, mind you. I prefer to keep time with the pulsing of my own heart. It told me to come here, and so I came. As far as I was aware, Rose Riverside was dissolved after your princess fled far away and the canoes scattered. Quite a few former canoes have gone on to serve the military commission. Re-establishing our long-lost contact right after the commission's decline suggests you want something from me. I can't guarantee you'll get it. Not even for old time's sake? You're the same as ever, Calcit. It's hard to believe how much Amiya has grown. No doubt she's keeping an eye on me, yes? A necessary precaution. Logos warned us of your appearance. Since we withdrew from the falling airship, you are the first outsider to reach our safe house. Outsider. Are you like me, Dame Calcit? Most difficult to persuade when we're in the throes of grief? This is not a Babel safe house, Entelechia. Hearing that code name coming from your lips truly takes me back. I passed by the charnel house that is Londinium on my way here. I rescued a few fortunate souls and sent off a few unfortunate ones. It brings me no joy to see my countrymen spill their blood on foreign soil, Calcit. I don't recall you being such a sentimental person. The vampire goes silent. Calcit sees she has no intention of answering. Why would you risk crossing the battlefields of Victoria to see me, Entelechia? If you require assistance, Teresis would be the better option. No need for these probing questions, Calcit. I'd rather not have anything to do with the Regent. Perhaps some of the sisters agree with him, but as you know, ever since Her Highness Teresa's untimely accident at Babel, there has been less and less contact between us. Our sororal bonds have weakened. They could have just used sisterly there. But that is not why I came to find you, Calcit. I intend to help Ascalon with a trifling matter, one that will allow her to enter the city a tad easier. What do you want? According to our latest intelligence, the military commission is strengthening its control within the city. The Noxera troops and the ducal armies are facing each other down at the city walls. The situation is ever-changing. Oh, I know, but such an adorable and studious youngster as her is well worth the effort to look after. That is not what I mean. Given the circumstances, you should have been unable to find any trace of Ascalon. I am familiar with her ways. She's wounded, gravely so. She's never used something like that as an excuse to lower her guard. You really trust her? It's hard to say whether I should be happy or worried for her that you hold her in such high regard. Who is helping you with this? Trickster, one of our sharp-eyed sisters. As a technician, she was able to hunt down a few clues I was looking for in Londinium. Her? I remember you all cherished her and would never have approved of putting her in the middle of this battle. And according to the vows made by all you Canoes, none of you should even be here. As I suspected, you know of our plight. Her intelligence is right. You have a trail leading to the princess. As I'm sure you're well aware, Dame, I am the only one who will not and cannot leave this river of blood. Do you still doubt me even after all I said? Rhodes Island thanks you for your assistance. We will repay the Canoes in kind, just as Teresa did during the Babel years. I will tell you all I know in regard to that princess. Thank you, Calcit. On another note, while I was in the bowels of the city, I caught a whiff of Ducarel's stench. While I would love to help settle that matter for you while I'm here, I will need help from your people. I'm afraid Rhodes Island does not have any more to spare inside the city. There is a local faction known as Milscar. Finding them should not be a challenge for you. They are close to the heart of the storm but are determined to avoid entangling themselves with any of the involved parties. A stance you would find familiar, I'm sure. You would trust someone like that? We retain shared interests for the time being. If the military commission has other plans for Ducarel's arrangements, they will undoubtedly affect the Ducal Alliance's next moves, or even disrupt the Exemplar's plans to enter the city. Neither Rhodes Island nor Milscar wishes to see such an outcome. Ha, you really haven't changed one bit. Did this plan come from you or that commander of yours? It is Rhodes Island's plan. Rhodes Island, very well. Do send my regards to your commander, though I fear I'm simply another lost memory at this point. Dame, there is one question that's been eating away at me, one I was hoping you could answer. Aside from His Highness the Regent, I'm afraid only you hold the answer. After all, you were the only ones who made it from the airship. Is a question you already know the answer to really so important? Of course it is. If one does not see it with one's own eyes, hear it with one's own ears, say it with one's own mouth, then saying goodbye becomes quite a challenge. Even though my heart sensed the echo of the myriad souls as they left with such clarity, I still ask myself over and over if she was among them. And so I must ask, has Her Highness left us once more? She loved Teresa. Southern region of Casdell, summer 1094. Cough. I've left you your life and a knife. I'd say that's a very generous price for answering my question. Who hired you all to kill me? Few even know of our existence. I'm dead either way, so do me a favor and be quick about it. Release him. I mean with a quick death like he asked for, Intellectia. As long as he spills enough blood, you can always just tear out the memories you want from him, right? Well, since you mention it, the vampire raises her hand. The crimson shackles binding the mercenary disappear into nothingness. I find I'm rather against that suggestion. Go on then, mercenary. As you can see, I have far too many people trying to kill me at the moment. I shan't be remembering your face. No need to thank me. Watching that cringe-worthy performance of yours was painful. Not many know the name Rose Riverside. I didn't have to do anything to him to guess who's hunting us. Her Highness has only just left us, and those who have hidden the shadows for too long are only too eager to act. You played your part well, though, otherwise it would have been such a bother finding an excuse to let him go. Don't misunderstand me. Her Highness is dead, and I have no intention of following the Regent to throw my life away in Victoria. Which is why I found my own way forward, one that lets me live. It almost sounds like you want to kill me too, Milton. Even if I did, I couldn't touch you, or any of you for that matter. If not, I'd have taken back my sister a long time ago. You best make yourself scarce then. The young mixed-blood Sarkaz does not do so, instead tightening his grip on his knife. Ha! You helped your sister deliver messages, which is why I remember you. My memories hold true, and whatever your role may be now, it has no bearing on them. You and I both know what Her Highness's passing means for Kazdel. I sense a storm approaching, and none of us can escape it. I do not wish for your sister to mourn. Leave while you still can. The situation is rather murky at the moment, and the sisters have scattered. Even I am having trouble tracking them down. The chaos in Kazdel has forced me to bid many a farewell. There are fewer and fewer informants I can speak to as the days go by. I do not intend on losing another sister because of you. There's nowhere any of you can hide. Most of the people after you aren't doing it out of hatred, but for the information you have. Even if the military commission says they won't hunt down anyone with ties to Babel, do you really think they'd let you waltz away with all those secrets spilling out of your pockets? I'd like to see them try and stop me. You're on a fool's errand, Milton. I'm just a worthless merc, but if I really do manage to bring your head in, at least I'll have a chance to protect my sister. I'm out of options, Intellectia. With a burst of speed, the young Sarkaz swings his sword, but Intellectia's scythe does not block his attack as he expected. Instead, the vampire's body slowly dissipates like a fog of blood, fading into the background. Shh. You could have been more honest from the start. If I promise you that none living shall approach this street, will you speak with candor? Yes, exactly what you're thinking. Your friends in ambush will not be coming. You're not as calm as you're pretending to be either. You pretend your pursuers bother you and claim you acted only to expose a traitor. Then you send everyone who finds you back to reveal your location, all so that anyone with a grudge against the Canoes will focus solely on you. I heard from my sister that you were the one who cleaned up after every operation. The cleaner, they call you. Once, when she barely escaped by the skin of her teeth, used a similar method to draw attention to yourself. Though it involved faking an injury that time. You were losing a lot of blood, true, but the art you used was powerful enough to turn everyone who even glanced at you into fine red mist. My sister risked her life to let you all cleanse her blood, turning her into a pure vampire. But even then, she couldn't eat for days after seeing that. I did endeavor not to splash too much blood. I'm not fond of working in such a garish fashion myself. No, what I hate is your arrogance. You think you can bear the entire blood depth of Rose Riverside by yourself. And what makes you say that? If I really were as capable as you claim, I would have held on to my sisters and have them accompany me upon this river of blood. And Rose Riverside would not have scattered so prematurely. I wish I'd had more time to do more than cleanup duty during the crew of the Civil War. I was so busy I didn't even hear the whispers of the wind. And that was that. I could not save Teresa nor a single canoe. Even what you're willing to do for your sister now, I cannot do myself. What the? Shh. A sparkling blood-red gem slowly falls in front of Milton, as Intellectia's countenance grows even paler. Take it back to the one you believe can save your sister. There are only two people in this entire land who can tell the difference between it and my little garnet. I can promise you that much. Your earring? More than that, but you needn't know. Now go. I wish you the best of luck, just as I do for my sisters. What about you? Judging by what you're holding, am I not already slain by your hand? If you have the chance to see your sister again, tell her I will find that woman and have her provide an answer to all of us sisters. This princess of yours, is she a traitor? A liar? Or something else? By the time the scent of blood wafts over in the breeze, she is already gone. Thank you. So she's been looking for Calcit for 10 years. Alright, we're back to this time. Can you hear me? I'm inside the Military Commission's command center. The communication shutdown has been lifted. That's mighty quick of you, Entelechia. Naturally, same old trick of mine. While I was dealing with Duke Aurel's altar, I found quite a few people lying in pools of blood. Some were closer to the Military Commission than others. There was still information in the command center in their memories. Ah, seems my divination today was off the mark. Today's blood drops were in the shape of 2 swords. Thought it meant you'd have to face off against the Royal Court's army and have a tough time getting in. Still playing at fortune telling, are you? The sound of something falling passes through the wireless communicator, distant and fuzzy. Are you alright over there? Damn it, tripped over a cable again. Anyway, with a body as bad as mine, I'm not casting any crazy blood arts anytime soon. Just let me mess around with a couple of drops now and then, okay? Won't you consider telling me where you're hiding right now? Why fix what isn't broken? Even back in Rose Riverside, when we Canoes were close as anything, nobody knew my hiding place. But now that you're in Londinium, there's nowhere that can guarantee your safety. No need to worry about me. Found the target to the northeast. Sounds like there are 2 teams. Make sure to avoid them. Understood. We may have destroyed the Commission's command structure, but the mercenaries who are taking it over are unfamiliar faces. Zzz. Are you still there? I'm here, sisters working together just like old times. Yes, just like old times. The 3 in charge of those mercenaries had some past dealings with Babel. I may be here at Calcit's request, but I doubt we would get very far using our old friendship as leverage. Would you say this goes against our sisterly vows? I'd say it all depends on how you see it. No canoe shall interfere in matters related to Babel. It was you who set that rule. Some people who don't really mind killing their own, you know. With more rules comes less trouble. I know what us sisters are like and how bad the blood can run between us at times. Yep, some join, so obviously there will be some who leave too. We have to accept that, Entelechia. This does not explain her sudden disappearance, though. I should think that I know her the best. Obviously, no one else has got a single drop of her blood on them. Which means her departure was truly without warning, rather than us missing a sign. Sounds like you've doubted yourself. Joined the club. It was only after it happened that I really got into this divination thing. It's never accurate, more like a game of associations that gets you thinking. But at least it gives me some sort of warning, reminding me to be mentally ready for any and all changes. I'll help you out. At the very least, we know she came by Londinium. 2 heads are better than 1, and 1 clue's better than none, right? Hold on, there's movement outside the command center. Victorian Alliance troops are locking horn with a group of unknown Sarkas. Those would be the mercenaries who have come to take charge. It would seem they're right behind us. I'll tidy up this command center for them. Save them the trouble later. Would you mind leading the way? No problem, I'm already here. After the seizure of the command center. Entelechia. You're late, Calcit. Drafting a final plan of attack demanded my time. It's rare to see you absent-minded. Rhodes Island medical operators can provide standard medical aid, but if a vampire does not wish to staunch their own bleeding, I'm afraid there is little they can do. It's nothing. Who doesn't bleed a little in battle? I was simply pondering the shape this bloodstain has taken. It seems like a bad omen, no? But do go on, Calcit. Forgive me, but as usual, I can only thank you in a personal capacity for destroying Duke Arail's remaining art circle and saving Londinium from yet another calamity. To be fair, I only did so out of my loathing for Duke Arail. It wasn't to help you, and certainly not to help those Victorians. Nonetheless, your action helped clear many obstacles for Wyssadel and her people. True, true. I trust you'll remember my help today, madame. Naturally. About the information you gleaned from within the art circles of blood, have you told Milscar? Just a hint, but that little kitten is smart enough to figure it out. When the Victorians and Sarkaz began hostilities, it was inevitable that some among them would seek cooperation over common interests. This war must end. These problems must be left to Londinium, to Victoria itself. Amia and the Doctor are currently fighting their own fight with the Victorian delegation to bring things to a peaceful close. If negotiations go as we hope, all the Sarkaz will leave at the appointed time. The tragedy of Londinium can end. The more one knows about the past, the more worries it adds to their brow. It almost sounds like you're mocking yourself, O nearly all-knowing Dame Calcit. 4 years ago, I found a Babel in complete disarray. We may have had our similarities in that sense. Us cleaners really hate having to leave, and are disinclined to accept defeat, so I stayed, wanting to piece back together all the shattered fragments. As promised, I've synced what I know about your princess to the frequency band you provided. It's just scraps of information, but it should be enough to help you. Thank you, Calcit. If you and Rhodes Island still need any assistance, do tell me now. Getting all the Sarkaz to agree to leave is hardly the easiest matter after all. There is one thing you must know. The person receiving this information did not respond. Closure managed to triangulate the approximate location of the band signal, albeit with great difficulty, but our people were prevented from approaching. No, rather than prevented, they were being distracted. This sort of activity can only mean there are people in the shadows with their own purposes. After me, perhaps? Oh no, her friend. No need to be in such a rush, Intellectia. Run as fast as you like, but that bouquet will wilt before you get past that battlefield no matter what. There are no roses in Casdell, true. Even if you do bring some for your sisters to see, they might not like them. You should toss the bouquet once the flowers are wilted. I am also unsure what awaits us once we return to the city of the Sarkaz. Though with how well you've become in combat and arts, there should be only one thing you need to be ready for. I hope you learned how to grieve, how to say farewell, Intellectia. It is easy to live with a heart full of hate, but it is hard to bear the pain of love. Saying farewell is what causes us to grieve, and so I will see Her Highness Teresa's wish fulfilled. I want you there with me when it becomes fulfilled. Will you agree to that, Intellectia? And who the hell was that talking? Intellectia enters the ruins. A few frightened civilians follow her at a distance, their eyes locked onto her, muttering curses under their breath. None dare to throw the bricks they hold in their hands. A dried streak of blood trails across the ground as if someone was dragged. It winds past the fallen wall, wrecked in the fighting, and skirts around a rusty assembly line. Trickster lies motionless, her face drained of blood, a shattered receiver still clutched tightly in her arms. Blood drips out of the terrifying wound on her, crimson as ever. A frail vampire died in Londinium, a sight all too common. Nobody cares why she died, but nobody can take away her dignity in death. Your blood still isn't dry. Someone has kept the last of your dignity. Only someone living can leave behind minute arts such as this, arts of life. My princess, is this all the mercy you could spare? You ended up coming here after all, Intellectia. As her finger dips into the blood, a host of information springs up before her eyes. Through this blood, Intellectia communes with the consciousness of the deceased before it disperses completely. Who killed you? I hid away too long and got hungry, decided to go out for a walk. Someone hit me. I knew I couldn't escape, so I didn't bother to stop the bleeding. A Rose, Riverside's cleaner, she has seen too many of her compatriots fallen in pools of their own blood. The shadows of these grisly scenes serve as elucidators of information in her mind's eye, fitting together in a vague memory. Was it the Victorians or the military commission? No need to be mad at anyone about this. If Rose Riverside hadn't taken me in, a vampire as weak as me wouldn't have made it past the Civil War. You all always said I was the only one of us sisters with sharp eyes, so whenever any surprises happened, even a small breakdown at the furnace, I'd be the first you all fussed over. That's all I ever needed. I'm so glad I met you all. The memories continue further into the past. A familiar figure steps out of the river of blood, quietly watching them. It is Trickster's memory, the memories of all the Canoes. As the warmth dies away in the blood, so too does the memory of the dead slowly dry up. Not many Canoes have left them, but none left in silence. No matter how dire the situation, they always spared the time to grieve for a lost sister. At least they did once upon a time. No, wait, what about the people we're looking for? Are you really alright with this? Didn't you want to bring back all our sisters too? She sees no information. There is no answer in the blood. But unexpectedly, her finger touches something solid. Take away your hand. Do not tarry in this river of blood. She knows this crystal, of course she does. It is a drop of her own blood. A vow. The beginning of Rose Riverside. There is no information within the pure crystal, merely the lingering warmth of arts. My princess, why did you choose to return this to me now? Why now of all times? You were here, so why did you leave so soon? Was it because you could not save her? Or was it because of the war that barely ended? Because of all that transpired years ago? Or maybe it's simply to say farewell. So is this supposed to be Ducarael's sister? Not planning on staying in Londinium? I have found the answer I sought. That princess of yours did come by this city. Neither the Military Commission's information network nor our covert web in Londinium could find anything on her. This is not good for us. She did not come here for the war. Rose Riverside will no longer take anything to do with Babel. A rule I set myself. She would not have violated it. Calcit, she may have simply come to say farewell to Her Highness. Or perhaps it was to stop Trickster and I from continuing our search. The sudden disappearance of your princess on the eve of Babel's collapse is suspicious enough. I cannot even confirm if she left on Teresa's orders. Until we know where she truly stands, Rhodes Island cannot rule out the possibility that she might interfere with our plans. Even if I too wish to believe she has simply come to say her goodbyes. I will find her, Calcit. The final clues Trickster left for me will be enough. She owes me an answer too. If you need assistance, we are still happy to... I know you are going to say that Rhodes Island wants to help. But Rhodes Island and Babel are very different beasts. I do not wish for Rhodes Island to be ensnared in the past once again. I believe Her Highness would not want it either. Our name may have changed, Intellectia, but our mission has not. Rhodes Island will not continue down Babel's doomed path, but we will never deny the ideals Babel showed us. Besides, I want the truth too. I thank you for your kindness. The drifting canoe needs birth, and for us, that can only be Casdell. The royal court, shaped by Ducarail, reeks with a stench that displeases the sisters. No doubt, sooner or later, another vile creature will emerge from his pool of blood. Perhaps I will rope in some other canoes in due time to cross the river of blood once more and return to the city Her Highness built. I foresee Casdell having even greater need of us in the wake of this war than Babel ever did. I fear persuading those sisters of yours will not be easy, not to mention your drifter of a princess. I believe in the vows of us canoes, even if many of us detest each other. Send this petal of tricksters to Casdell in my stead, dame. See her home. She slowly opens her hand, revealing a sparkling blood-red crystal. She did all she could to preserve the longing lingering in her sister's veins. You have my promise and Rhodes Island's as well. Then don't blame me when trouble comes knocking on your door. It has been a long time since Rhodes Island was as weak as you imagine, Intellectia. We can only hope. Goodbye, Calcit. The warmth in this drop of blood will never die, just as us canoes will never drown in the river of blood. This is our vow. I promise you. For our farewell I shall grieve. I would much prefer to part less often, but goodbye, Intellectia. Oh, I'm like super curious as to who this princess is now, though. Maybe it's just like another member of the royal court. At the very beginning, I thought like, wait, are they talking about like a Rhodes Island operator? But of course it couldn't be that simple. Couldn't be that simple. Can you hear Victoria cry, O kings of yore? Fires burn my mother's skin. I fly above her head, but I do not hear her cry for help. Only lament. But who does she lament for? Don't bother collecting the bodies of the Steam Knights and mercenaries. The Victorians already built this tomb for them. I know, Inez, but... Paprika clenches the blood-stained piece of paper in her hand and tries to imagine what it felt like as the Steam Knight wrote these words. This is the Steam Knight's home, but the Sarkaz shouldn't be left here. If Hoderer can really bring everyone back to Casdell with the Lifebone, can we take them with us too? If you've already made up your mind, then go ahead. But are you sure about this, Paprika? You are not from Casdell. I can always find a way to Columbia if I need to. It's safer to travel back with the group for now. Who knows what they'd do to you if you stayed in Victoria or tried to head back to Columbia now? Given the circumstances... Stop pretending you're not injured. I won't die. I can't die. Besides, we're already taking too long. How is the Lifebone's recovery going? It'll make it to Casdell, provided no one accidentally damages it again. Oh, was that meant for me? Guess your recovery's going just fine. How are things looking outside, W? I'll let you off the hook about the name this time, Inez. Even better, how are things looking outside, W? The Victorians made a big push right after the fire in the walls. The Noxera lines collapsed right away. What about the Noxera king? Still kicking, but he retreated into the city. Is there any news about the general, Miss Whissadell? Nope, could be dead for all I know. Manfred wouldn't die so easily. But the chaos outside is a problem. Based on intel my guys collected, Nezalem is still sitting cozy even though the military commission screwed up this battle big time. And while I'd love to blow Teresis to smithereens, I gotta admit, he's a cunning enough bastard that there's no way his forces would back down that easy. I'm thinking your plan needs to be moved up, Hoderer. The Lifebone is ready. Whatever the region is scheming, we should prepare to leave with the ones who've been dragged into this mess before the Sarkaz purge begins. I doubt the Victorians would let them go so easily. I know, but since when did we need the Victorians' permission to do anything? I've got an idea. But first, we'll need to capture the Commission's command center. Say, in the name of Babel. You guys just wait here for my orders. An idea hasn't a plan, W, but you seem confident. Fine, let's go. I've spent enough time underground. Doesn't Hodor need someone to take care of him? I have it on good authority that he won't die. Yes, that's what I said. Whatever the Regent and Noxera are planning at the Palace of Westhaleg, the fate of the survivors is probably not their priority. We can't just sit back and watch. You can tell us about your idea on the way. Two dunces. What about you, Yarnball? I'll go with you. The general might be the command center. I have so much to ask him. But do we just leave the Lifebone here? I could blow it to pieces if you want, if you're volunteering to carry everyone on your back instead. W. It's Whissadell. Don't worry, Yarnball. No one will ever guess it's here. And if anyone dares get close, my guys will take care of them. Whissadell surveys the resting place of kings, now barely recognizable rubble. Besides, what better place to hide a pile of bones than a graveyard? Outside the Military Commission Command Center. Found a way in yet? The Ducal Alliance's army surrounding the place, but they don't seem to have any intention of attacking. What are they doing then? Out for a picnic? Defending this place was so important to the general. How could... The general? You mean that devil by the name of Manfred? I'm afraid he fled with his tail between his legs, abandoning all of you. Her Grace was right. The Military Commission spies do come through here. Who the hell are you calling Commission spies? We are not your enemies. We've come to end this war. I've read your files, Sarkaz, the right hand of Manfred. Your word can hardly be taken at face value. Then maybe you've also read how I escaped from Manfred. I'm afraid I lack the patience to read through the files of every insignificant devil. We've surrounded the place, sir. Eliminate these Sarkaz spies. Search their bodies for intel in the command center. I've had enough of the Sarkaz's tricks. Ha, so you're not attacking because you're too scared of what's inside. Well, if you don't have the guts, we'll do it for you. Are you sure you want to pick a fight now, W? I can ensure a safe retreat at least. I'm with her. The Sarkaz cannot afford to wait. Protect Paprika, Inez. We're forcing our way through. If you say so. Shadows spread from Inez's feet, locking onto every Victorian soldier present. Then she senses a different kind of shadow. Delphine? Let them through, sir. And here I was thinking you finally made up your mind to kill us. I am not under the command of the Exemplars, my lady, nor do I want to be put on mandatory leave like Bellingham. I am simply executing the Duke's orders. Wipe out the Sarkaz, no more, no less. These Sarkaz share our strategic objective. They aren't a monolith. You're here to kill the Nachzerer, aren't you, Hoderer? The Nachzerer king holds great significance to the Sarkaz, but he cannot be allowed to live. Only the swift and complete defeat of his forces will convince the one sitting on the fence to willingly withdraw with us. You want to flee with the devils? Got a problem with that, punk? You do understand the crimes they committed, do you not? I can't deny them, but I also understand what will happen if large numbers of leaderless Sarkaz mercenaries are left scattered across the countryside. Mercenaries who've tasted blood in war. You want to protect them and prevent further chaos. Can you give your guarantee? No, but she can. Babel can. Hoderer points towards Wyssadel. This war has long since lost its last justification for taking lives. It's time to bring it to an end. This has nothing to do with who I was or who I am now. Very well, you can go in. If Rhodes Island trusts you, then you should be careful, Lady Delphine. What you are doing may constitute treason. I don't need your advice. Lieutenant Shearer, instruct the Exemplars units to escort this Sarkaz team into the command center. Inform all Alliance units that this order comes directly from Delphine Windermere. Understood, Lady Windermere. I hope you will be able to answer for yourself when the Dukes hear about this. I have even more reason to hate the Sarkaz than most of you, but I don't let it blind myself to the current situation. Londinium has bled enough. Thank you for your help. It's not you I'm helping, Sarkaz. Go end this war. As for you, sir, you can either continue this staring match with me, or we can go back with our men and prepare for the next battle. Or do you need to call the Duke of Castor for instructions? No need for that, Lady Delphine. Her Grace has granted me discretion. I agree that this is not our battlefield. I will, however, report all the facts pertinent to this incident to Her Grace. Suit yourself. While you're at it, send her my regards and a promise from the Exemplars. When the horn of the final battle sounds, the Exemplars will be the first to answer. I get that things are messed up at the Commission, but is this really all they have guarding the command center? According to Dame Calcit and the Doctor, Rose Riverside has probably paved the way for us. What about Manfred and his men? Afraid of getting blown up or something? If the General is still alive, there's only one place he would be, by the Regent's side. We'll have to count on the Doctor's group being able to handle the Regent. It's all yours, Wyssadel. And I thought I'd have to fight you for the mic. Your first broadcast more than did the job, Wyssadel. Why so serious all of a sudden? About to spew a bunch of crap I don't understand again? The name Her Highness gave you holds many meanings. I know. If they need to hear a new voice, they'll hear it. Before that, though, I want to set things up. We still need the command center to organize the withdrawal, Don't blow it up in a fit of anger. Blow it up? Of course I want to blow it up. But there's only one of it, which means I can't try all the different ways I had planned for it. W. Don't rush me, Inez. This time I'm gonna blow it into the sky so everyone can see it. See who we are and what we want to do. Listen up, people. Babel's captured the Military Commission's command center. Those bastards don't know their heads from their asses right now, and nobody's got it in them to help out the crusty old Noxerer King. So quit wasting time and get those feet moving. Believe me or not, whatever, just step on the gas and get this over with. Oh, and just saying, don't forget to keep your eyes on the sky. My patriarch, that the command structure of the commission has collapsed. Temporary chaos is inevitable, but no matter. The long oppression may have numbed the sarcasm, but this war has reignited their hatred. A moment of fear or hesitation will not extinguish it. The Noxerer King looks up to see a frenzied flame cut open the veil of decay for an instant. Besides, there will be another to stand up and lead them. Babel. The first time I saw the Palace of Westaleg was 15 years ago, on a 15-pound bill. 50-pound bill. It was the first time I held a wrench in my hands, and the first time I held money I'd earned myself. I rubbed the bill with my numb and tired hands. The factory door began to close behind me, but I felt as though the door to all of Terra was being opened before my eyes. A place that seemed so far away, a place where kings once sat, was right there in my hands. Why'd we stop? The area ahead is completely shrouded in fog. Captain Horn's orders are to halt the advance until we figure out what tricks the Noxerer are up to in there. Look at all those pretty patterns in the tiles beneath our feet, though. We're close to the palace. Be patient and grab a proper weapon from camp. The Sarkas protecting this place are the worst of the worst. A wrench is not going to cut it. This wrench has smashed 5 Sarkas skulls just on the way here. I can do it whether you believe it or not. It's been 15 years since I felt like this, but now I feel like I can take on that palace. Noxerer King be damned. Wait, shush. What is it? Fog. I'll report it in. Find a safe place to hide. You hear that sound from inside the fog? All I hear is the wind. Same sound as when I forgot to shut the gym's windows at night. If it's the wind, it's blowing against something. A flag or clothes. Tell Vina. In an instant, innumerable tattered rags rush out of the fog, drifting across the sky above the city like a gray-white tide. There is cloth freshly torn from clothing. There are banners woven by hatred over the millennia. They have wrapped generation after generation of Noxerer warriors, hiding the rot beneath, but now they fly freely in the sky, inviting all they touch to walk into decay. Bloody hell, I can't free my leg. I got you. Get away from the cloth, I'll cover you. They'll corrode any weapons they touch. Melee units pull back and let the casters deal with them. 1st and 3rd caster battalions, volley on my mark. I can't get rid of them. The pals are immersed in decay, the shroud drawing in death. Even the formless witchcraft of the Noxerer has rules that can be followed. But I am unable to decipher this fog. It is neither arts nor natural. Is this some new tactic, Logos? They wouldn't wait this long to try a proven tactic. Perhaps Nezalim is changing, or perhaps it's the Noxerer themselves that are changing. This place will soon be more dangerous than the shroud we stepped into on the battlefield outside the city. The other units must have encountered the same interference. Even sending out a signal is difficult. This 300-meter plaza is enough to delay 1,000 men for days. Teresa still has Omnanom. How's our comms equipment closure? If we don't want the Nokjar cutting off the battlefield to itty-bitty pieces in the fog, turning our offensive into more of a buffet, we should fill the plaza with repeaters, including those curvy corridors on the sides. We don't have time to get a bunch more equipment, but luckily, I have a backup plan. I never told them I had never killed anyone. I did exterminate a few districts worth of musk beasts, but never a human. I never told them that it was not arts-imbued pall I wrapped myself in, but rags taken from stolen mops. After all, I had never met another Noxera in all the years I grew up in the ditches of Londinium, and no one ever taught me Noxera arts. I wrapped myself in mops so the Victorians wouldn't beat me to death. A mop head that killed musk beasts for them deserved to live more than the Sarkaz at least. Why are you ripping the cloth off yourselves? Our patriarch says we no longer need hide the decay. Should I rip mine off too then? Of course, child. Why doesn't it fly away like yours did? Am I missing some arts? Feel the decay within you returning to the land. Feel the withered life returning to your body. Then rejoice. So I should rejoice? I beat a Noxera to a pulp. They said the Noxera could never be truly killed, so I kept swinging my wrench like my life depended on it, even though the one beneath me was no longer moving. His ugly frame was much frailer than I imagined. I broke it like the fallen branches in the snow under my feet in the winters of my childhood. They always broke with such a satisfying crack. Was the war answering my courage? I liked the feeling. I could. I said I could. Who said you can't truly kill a Noxerer? This one seems pretty dead to me. Careful there, you don't want to be near a Noxerer corpse long. The Noxerer warrior's body quickly collapses, losing all form and color. An invisible fog takes up the form of the dead and gently embraces the remains. It just rots on its own? That quick? If we don't get away now, we and that body will both be Noxerer food. Bloody hell, and there I was thinking the Noxerer weren't such bloody monsters after all. It'll be fine, alright. Where do you come from? Think about home, all that sun and hay and beer, you know. I think you'll feel a wee bit better putting all this rot out of your mind. I'm from Londinium. All I had at home was sourdough hard enough to smash skulls. Aye, that works. Yeah, it works for me. Death and decay are defined by silence. I never thought the Sudaram could operate so noisily. No longer do the Noxerer try to keep their nature in check. They are allowing decay to run unchecked. Meaning it will be harder to stop the spread of rot. A pair of hands cannot stop rushing water, but they can easily spray the water further. What if we diluted the rot, Logos? Hang in there, you'll get better. Ah! Do I look like I'll get better to you? A natural effect of rapidly applying healing arts. Take this, give it to... Ugh. The pain, it's getting better? Do not choose the end out of pain, soldier. Endure. The pain will stop in time. Thank you, Sarkaz. Listen to Liz, it'll be alright. In cases of acute infection, we have to avoid rapid emotional fluctuations. Take a deep breath and... Message from the doctor, Neural. Shining, Neural Nightingale, are you in the rear? We're at the rear camp, just returned with a bunch of wounded. How is Nightingale? Weak, but she refused to abandon the injured to their fates. We'll take care of her. I need you to pull out of the area along with everybody in camp. Doctor, you... Let us know if you need any support. The Noxer shroud won't be easily dispelled with arts. We'll divert the fog of decay to nearby areas. Do your best to ensure that no one is caught in it. Roger. The more lives we save, the less decay there is to feed on. It's the duty of those followers, isn't it? Neural, Shining, there's no time to rest. Liz. Liz's blue foul beast perches on Shining's shoulder, rubbing against her cheek. Sometimes I just don't know what to do with you. Neural? Go and save some lives. As for the enemy, leave them to my spear and shield. Bzz. Bzz. Wow, I never knew fog could be so noisy. The interference is too strong. Might be easier to yell than get a signal through. We can't place the repeaters directly on the ground. The fog eats away at the antenna. If we put up a shield... No, with interference like this, that'd just block whatever's left of the signal. What if we carried the repeaters? The fog won't eat at the equipment as long as we're still alive, right? Closure clenches her comms terminal tightly, but she can feel the pain of its metal corners biting into her skin, fading away. Her limbs are becoming numb. The fog clings to all life equally, inviting them to join the procession of decay. She knows what Fang's suggestion implies. She wants to reject it, but she does not. You go. I'll stay here with the base station. Think, Closure, think. If this fog is from Nokjara arts, then that can't just be meaningless noise. Identify the pattern and we can filter it out. There it is. It's not noise, it's the voice of the Nokjara. Even if their flesh is decayed, even if their consciousness has long since faded, the life force of the Nokjara continues to sing in joy as they return to the cycle. No idea what you're so happy about, but I'm sick of hearing it. Let me see, a little more over here. Bzzz. Closure. Bzzz. I'm getting a signal, but it's still not enough. How about this? That's what I'm talking about. Wait, Misery? How did you... I can cut a path through the fog for communications. Great, now we can hear what... 3rd Caster Battalion. Engage the Nokjara emerging from behind the lines. Don't let them cut us off from the exemplars. The weight-bearing structures of the corridors to the sides of the plaza are heavily damaged. They're about to collapse. Watch out for falling debris. The whole battlefield. It's connected. Now I have killed a Victorian girl wearing a bright printed scarf on her head. Her scarf faded and her complexion twisted before my face. She became no different from the first beasts I killed, only bigger and more hollow. Her life must have flowed into me. I find myself swinging the great sword they gave me, almost as tall as I am. But I don't feel the ecstasy they spoke of. Ah! Phew, you're rotten too. If I don't rot, you will, is that it? What's that? The massive explosion almost ruptures the young Nokjara's eardrums. A massive suit of armor flies past him. The fog gently picks away at the broken limbs the armor is wearing, pale fragments dispersing with the steam. Several pseudorams fly towards it, their swords making screeching sounds on the metal, piercing the dull thud of iridium explosives. Metal shall decay. The young Noxer has no time to look back. Heavy metal legs break the fog in front of him, blocking out the already dim sunlight. How many years do you think it took us to build the crawler? You think we just let you eat it? Armor plate to the port side leg. Does the main gun still turn? 2 o'clock. Fire. Blast a path through the pseudoram for the steam knight. The young Noxer falls to the ground. Cold blood immediately seeps through the remaining mop cloth as though he was born to wipe such filth. But why was he born too? He has no time to think about the answer. A great iron hammer is raised above his head, its glaring reflection in his eyes. No, no. I don't want to. You don't want to die. A tide of rot rushes past him and the hammer falls to the ground as scrap. My patriarch. I'm sorry, I didn't. Please don't punish me. I'm not a deserter. If you have yet to fully comprehend war, then you are no deserter. It is not yours to give up your life so easily in. Your war has yet to come. Go. The fog. It's fading. More and more wounded are being evacuated before they die. The Noxer are being deprived of the rot they feed on. Disperse. The fog is thinning. Even I can breathe now. Wait, you couldn't breathe all this time, Doctor? Why didn't you say anything? It wasn't that bad. It's just better now. This won't last for long. Shining reports the fog had been diverted elsewhere is returning. We must move. Doctor. Monitor. Perish. You feel a sense of deja vu. It is not that any memories came back to you, it is that, once again, you sense how tiny and frail your life is. A blade of grass in the wilderness. What is one blade or 1,000 in the presence of death? You will all become nutrition for next year's sprouts. The tide of rot crosses Amiya's black curtain, Monitor's massive frame, and Logos' wall of incantations rushing towards you. The next instant it comes to an abrupt halt. It is you. It is me. You have kept your promise. Monitor structural fortification. Protect the doctor. There is no need, Dame. I shall not fight you here. Even though this is a battlefield? Precisely because it is a battlefield. You do not belong to this battlefield of mine. Every second you spend here is an insult to it. War doesn't belong to anyone, it only destroys everyone. Ha, how arrogant. No matter, this war that has nurtured me, this war I have nurtured is now over. Even if it has cycled back and forth for 1,000 years in the most uninteresting manner, even if the pain gave rise to has become numbless, this war has achieved its goal. Now the Sarkaz are masters of their own destiny. The Omninom is in Teresa's hands. Teresa's? No. The Omninom is in the hands of all Sarkaz, scattered across the land for 1,000 years. From this war they will come away with power, freedom, and a future. What is left for me is the purest afterglow of war, one that knows no purpose but war itself. If there is no purpose, then why do you, outblood child, so eager to put a stop to everything you do not wish to see? If you see war as only evil, suffering as only a mistake, and sacrifice as only a waste, then you can bring neither destruction nor rebirth. Should I take this as the god of war advising the king of Sarkaz? Very good. Finally, you call yourself king. But it is not advice. My war may have won the Sarkaz a future, but it is not my place to dictate what it is. My place is only to fulfill the very nature of my being. To nurture a new life? To me, decay and rebirth are one and the same. As for you, ageless dame, outblood king, and you, it is not my place to judge you. Go, Teresis awaits. Behind the Noxera king, the ranks of Sarkaz part silently. They reveal a black path between white shroud, white bones, and white pall. Doctor, will we truly bring an end to this calamity? We're with you, Doctor. This is the moment Rhodes Island is prepared for. There is no need to hesitate. And the Noxera king? My whistle shall disperse the fog. If we triumph, we will not celebrate victory alone. Through the fog, you can see the faint silhouette of a tank, the gushing steam of a steam knight, exemplars and aligned soldiers fighting side by side. You hear the communications of Closure, Whissadel, and the others. All of them fighting for the same end. An end to this war. Let's go meet Teresis. You have crossed the waters of death, Aphanil, and witnessed the dim candlelight of the other side. Go, I do not wish to fight you. Sing once more when all decay is returned to the soil, when all war drums are silent. Your end does not lie here. The Banshee shakes his head and says nothing. His bone pen floats up in front of him. Ha! So be it. I do envy Lakar Maline. The Noxera king spreads his arms wide. The Banshee begins to move his bone pen. 1,000 branches rise from the Noxera, formed of flesh, blood, and bone. 1,000 incantations are etched by the point of the Banshee's pen in opposition to the decay. 1,000 branches spread out on the battlefield. Every Noxera corpse they touch, from the ethereal remains of the ancient Sudaram to the yet unrotted flesh of young Noxera warriors, blooms in flowers of decay. Once again, the Noxera rise from the decay. Once again, the fearless charge forth in the incantations of the Banshee. The Palace of Westhaleg. It wasn't grand at all. In fact, it looks even more decrepit than what I saw in that bill 15 years ago. The blood and flesh covering my hands feels more real. I stopped counting the number of Sarkaz I put down. It must have been a lot because my wrench broke. I see him! That must be the Noxera king. Wait, this is as far as I can go. You can't charge in barehanded. Take this sword. The size of kings. My daughter liked to rub my arm when I was lying face down on the bed. She said it was fun because my muscles were so hard. I would pat her shoulder and tell her she could become just as strong enough to lift a whole pile of steel bars. Holding the sword in my hand, I stab at the mountain of branches under me and climb it. But how do I reach an enemy floating in midair? For Victoria! I see the steam knight charge towards death. I hear a sharp whistle in my ear. I feel the ground tremble from the guns of the tank. The elusive, terrifying white figure in the sky stops for an instant. Then the steam knight dives from the sky, sending the Noxera king crashing to the ground. He's so close. I am beginning to fall in love with war. I leap from the mountain of branches and put the sword through the Noxera king. I can even feel my eyes burn at the heat gushing from the steam knight as it breathes. Victorian, you have learned to draw life from war. Now you must learn to return it to war. Ha! It was no use at all. I am thrown a great distance. I can no longer feel my own body. I see the Ghrian king once again rise into the sky, the steam knight wrapped in a frenzy of white cloth. The strange Sarkaz casting his arts, cutting a path towards the Ghrian king. Familiar faces treading the death-filled path towards that seemingly insurmountable foe with no hint of hesitation. The fog seems to be dispersing. I see the massive four-legged tank advance. Why is there a golden-haired Karanta here? What are those strange contraptions that have appeared on the battlefield, making a strange sound? I see Her Highness, our hero Vina Victoria, the returned king, leading more and more people forward. For Victoria. I seem to see the end of the war. The Ghrian king's silhouette overlaps with the sun. It is bright. Before him gathers those eager to end the war. I can no longer see what happens next. Where did the sword go? Sorry, my girl. Your daddy's not coming home. Soul Furnace of Kazdel. 1086. So you've chosen to answer Teresa's call to arms, even though the war will destroy you. Has your crown shown you my end, your highness? No, we simply understand full well that the only end of war is destruction. What is there to fear in destruction? The first Ghrian learned our purpose when he rose from the ashes of war. I am the end of all things. The great boulder of war sits above our heads on the slopes of time. All we can do is push it with our might. This time, however, Teresis has promised me an end to the cycle. As had you, do you remember? I do, at the founding of the military commission. But we have found another path. Then prove it to me, your highness. I will wait. Even if you do not find your end, however, I will carve out another path for the Sarkaz. I can see your emotions. You are excited about this path. I've waited too long since that war 200 years ago. Farewell, your highness. I will witness the conclusion of your dispute with the regent. Babel will return. I have never doubted it, nor have I doubted your promise. Farewell. The rays of dawn shine from the pinnacle of the Palace of Westhaleg. They drive away the fog, revealing the aftermath of battle. The fog is gone. So is the Ghrian king. Did we win? He's dead, right? In it? I still sense that suffocating presence. We'll need to get used to it. There is much to be done. The daybreak was unfamiliar to those returning home or to those on the battlefield. Morning rays poured down like blood over the carpet of bodies on the ground. Is this what the sunrise always looked like in Londinium? No, never. The cold dawn pours blood toward the skyline, toward the winding mountains in the distance like an ocean of blood. The few cries of joy from the crowd quickly fall silent. This is not how anyone imagined the glory of victory. It's over. But who can truly kill war? No one can kill war. Do you still sense his presence, your highness? He has unfortunately given himself to death. But you are correct. War will never end. He merely left because this particular war is over. I almost envy him. He has taken so many people along with him, all to enjoy a war that belonged only to him. I have lost another fine opponent. Guess the old man really is dead. No time to mull over it. The Victorians could begin their purge at any moment. There's a lot on your mind. There's just something I'm not sure about. I have this feeling that when the next war to change the history of Terra comes... No, I'm probably overthinking it. In the silence, only the lonely sound of a bone whistle reaches the pitch-black underground throne room. It is the Banshee's elegy for the dead. Is the Regent gone? Did you hear it? What is your true plan? There is no answer. The Regent of Casdell, the one who began this war, is not here. He closes his eyes and seems to see a river of blood flowing towards the sky. Manfred cannot even tell what became of the Sarkaz hero who left so many legends behind. But he sees an image in his mind's eye. When the fires of war once again ravage Casdell, death shall emerge from the mountains in the skyline. Lifebone, October 1098. Odorov brought along everyone who agreed to use the bones to retreat. Most of them wouldn't be able to withstand the long journey, the old, the young, and the more injured Sarkaz than you can count. W said, and I quote, "Let them die if they want, but the other members of her squad carried them here." Somehow, she still has quite a few living subordinates, enough to maintain order within the Lifebone and watch over Ursula in captivity. So at least you won't have to worry about having no one to take the wheel if you accidentally die on the road. Got it. What are you waiting for? The Lifebone casts a shadow over the ruins of the battlefield. None of the Sarkaz raise their heads. They may already know of, or have gone accustomed to, the greater shadow that will soon envelope their kilometers-long procession. Most of them move slowly as they cross the trenches left behind by the high-speed battleships. I was just thinking, look how long the line of soldiers is. We've all traveled that road from Casdell to Victoria before. We all know how long it is. But if the Victorians break their word and open fire on the retreating Sarkaz forces, there'll be nothing you can do about it. Yes, that's how it's always been. Maybe not immediately, but after the signal we sent to all of Terra, every nation will be forced to respond. Are you sure that it will work? Such a blatant retreat back to Casdell will probably cause many countries to panic. But there really is no better way. Our squad must continue to present the strongest possible front to all factions. The moment we lose the strength to wield our weapons, we'll be devoured without a trace. The same goes for the new King of Sarkaz. We must seize the initiative here. The airship in the distance is faintly visible through the bones, and the ship's cannons remain locked in targeting mode. A massive catastrophe cloud still hovers around the ship, following the Sarkaz forces as they retreat. But there's something else that's got me very worried. Are you sure it's a good idea to have W guard Manfred? She's the best for the job. The squad has reached its destination. The weather is clear and visibility is good. Keep looking to the southeast. We've received the latest intelligence from the Ministry of Defense, which includes Casdell's approximate coordinates. Please closely monitor the Sarkaz army to ensure the retreat home isn't a cover for another military maneuver. Understood. The officer does not, in fact, understand why he needs to monitor the Sarkaz. However, out of respect for his comrades, he sits in the reconnaissance vehicle and stares intently at the data being sent back by the drones. All is calm. There's nothing unusual to report at the moment, sir. By the way, and I'm just making small talk, Maylander rarely sends someone of your status to liaise with the military. Heh, the Victorians think they've done a fine job covering up the disaster in Londinium. Maylander needs to investigate the situation before we have a talk with them. Understood. Lieutenant, you are to report any new developments immediately. Of course, sir. There's nothing to report right now. Nothing at all? Wait, what's that? The officer puts down the communicator. The catastrophe detection system on the vehicle is blaring an alarm. He looks towards the capital district, but at this distance, he can barely make out the outline of the nomadic city. But he can clearly see the massive shadow cast by the catastrophe cloud, stretching from above the capital district all the way to where he stands. Yes, he knows you are familiar with the people of Syracusa, so he hopes you'll have a chance to display your talents this time. Not to worry, the Sarkaz hordes are a chaotic, calamitous force, but they are ultimately mercenaries. We are now well aware that our neighbor, Victoria, has failed to keep them on a tight leash. But I shall not allow such filth to disrupt Lasagna's glorious Goldenescasats. Of this I am quite certain. Please send this message along to your master. The noble is interrupted by a suddenly darkening sky. What's going on? Come inside with me now, sir. It's a catastrophe. Contact the base for further orders. Damn, we've got no signal. What the hell is going on? Push the fleet forward, full throttle. Wait. The data from the catastrophe detection system sends a chill down his spine. The cloud has stopped expanding just as suddenly as it had appeared a few minutes ago. The strong wind blows iridium dust up into the sky, but it doesn't fall back down. Then the clouds start to dissipate as the sunlight peeks through. Can you hear me, Lieutenant? Yes, sir. The catastrophe cloud appeared out of nowhere. There were no signs at all before it happened. Of course. This was meant as a display, a show of force to intimidate us. You think the Sarkaz troops did this? Maylander no longer requires your help with our investigation. Please withdraw at once. Of course, do not disclose any information about our cooperation. Yes, sir. May Terra bless us. Enough. Deactivate the tip line. We have more than enough eyewitness accounts of the catastrophe cloud. Everyone saw what happened. Those of us living in the high-rises got an even closer look. For now, I need all of you to come up with explanations and file your stories. Everyone writes a report. Whether you explain it away as an advertising hologram or new arts from Lasagna, that's up to you. Do you need anything else? Sir, this call wasn't from a citizen. We just received word from our messengers. Zwillingstern, Laterano, Montelupe, catastrophe clouds have appeared over the capitals of every nation. What about Deity Grifferberg and Max DC? Same situation. That little Omninom thingamajig is pretty handy. It can send a catastrophe to someone's doorstep before you can blink. No wonder Doctor and the Hag were so nervous when we came to take it away, and that little bunny insisted on tagging along to keep an eye on me. What if we just, destroyed every capital of the core all at once? While it may indeed be able to rain down disaster on those nations, that doesn't mean it can destroy them. I have no doubt that doing so would bring nothing but retaliation against Kazdel. Our history has repeatedly proven this, even from the earliest records. It would be unwise, Whissadel. In fact, you must use Omninom sparingly. The strain it places on the mind and body is even greater than I imagined. You just experienced that pain firsthand. You don't get to tell me that, Manfred. Omninom's potential extends far beyond intimidation, assuming we figure out the proper use for it. Their Highnesses had much higher hopes for it. Yes, it is a weapon, a deterrent, but more importantly, it is the means by which we will break free from our destiny. You know, you're even more annoying than Hoderer. Don't forget who you are, dude. You're a prisoner and we're only keeping you alive because Casdell needs you alive. Hell, the only reason we let the military commission stick around is that the surviving Sarkaz still need something to believe in on the way home. Fucking Teresa sure thought of everything, huh? I'm guessing Hoderer saw this coming long ago too, didn't he? This was always the region's overt strategy, to reunite people brought together once more by hatred around Casdell. Even Babel and the military commission are working together again, united towards a common goal. Yeah, but don't expect to wriggle your way out of this one, Manfred. Remember what I said. Whissadel. What, still got more to say? If someday Casdell really does normalize its relations with the other nations, just as Her Highness Teresa once strived for, then I, along with the rest of the military commission, will have to draw a clear line between ourselves and Casdell. As the Sarkaz see it, Outbloods bring only pain and hatred, just as we do to them. Sooner or later, they will claim that we haven't paid for the crimes we have committed, and on that day, I will be waiting for those hateful avengers to find us. Just shut up already. Stop acting like you're a saint or whatever. Rhesus and the rest of you assholes screwed up big time. You were so goddamn stupid I wish I could blow you to pieces right now. Don't forget, almost all the lunatics who actually believed in your plan died in Londinium along with the Noxerer. You killed them with your own hands. There were hardly any left to even evacuate. But the Sarkaz will pay for their own mistakes. Babel's not so spineless as to cast the entire commission from the city just because a few dumbasses were bold enough to provoke Casdell. Her Highness would never do that, and neither will I. If they're stupid enough to come, I don't mind giving them a fight. But if you keep talking shit, I'll just toss you over to someone who's willing to put up with your crap. So you're not afraid of it? Look at that moving catastrophe cloud over there. It seems so far away, but I can't shake the feeling it might suddenly appear right over my head. Of course I'm afraid. Who isn't afraid of catastrophes? But there's a trick I picked up in Sami. Whenever I'm scared, I just pull my hat over my head, crouch down, and think of something happy. The things you're afraid of will disappear before you even know it. After all, I'm just minding my own business. They wouldn't give me a hard time for no reason, would they? Just last week you said you'd lost count of how many times you'd been captured and interrogated by one of the Familiae. I'm sorry for the trouble. But misunderstandings always get cleared up in the end. I mean, you guys did let me go, didn't you? I really can't figure out how you managed to make it all the way through Sami and Ursus in one piece. You ain't lying about that too, are you? I just happen to come across perfectly reasonable people like you all the time. Try reason your way out of catastrophes then. Remind me again where you're going? Some place called Black Flow? Yes, and I'm going home, friend. Back home to Bolivar. That's one long-ass journey. An extra day or two won't make a difference. Besides, that papered, tattered talisman you're carrying ain't gonna expire. Anyhow, I advise you to wait for that parade of crazies to pass. They started a war. They can destroy cities. Or maybe wait for someone or something else to test out the catastrophe for you. Just some friendly advice. Those devils are bold as hell. Someone's bound to try and take a bite out of them sooner or later. He can hear the terrifying roar of the catastrophe cloud off in the distance, along with the faint rumble of battleship engines. The Syracusan is right. It may be wiser not to get involved in this, however. Paryakaka, you ain't actually fascinated by that cloud, are ya? Maybe I am. I find it hard to hide my excitement whenever I encounter something I've never seen before. True, I paid a price for it back in Sami, but I just can't get rid of this bad habit. To be more precise, I want to take a look at the people walking beneath the catastrophe cloud. How's it going? I hope no one is giving you any trouble. Just another ordinary funeral. A funeral beneath a catastrophe cloud is hardly ordinary. It's unfair to so many. They should have been able to return to Kasdel with us. Death is the one form of equality most readily attainable to all misery. The vast majority of the deceased have no relatives nor even names. When I asked them to leave their final words, they could not even identify anyone who might remember them after they were gone. I shrouded the burial site in mist to keep beasts away. Unfortunately, most of the dead were still unable to return to the furnace at home as they wished. Logos, do you know what lies a little further up ahead? My previous missions rarely required me to come this way. Laterano is just south of here, not far. When Outcast and I went on missions together in this area, she'd often bring me here to drink. We once made a foolish bet that I'd find a way to sneak in and try Lateran ice cream. Well, I did it. No one caught me. But I never got the chance to tell her. Ha, at least I'm not the one breaking my promise this time. So you deliberately refused the order to return to the ship with Ascalon. You knew we'd pass through here during the retreat. Don't try to guess my intentions, Logos. With Ascalon here, we'll have no issues escorting our fallen comrades and their tokens back to the ship. Besides, she also needs some time to herself, to say goodbye to the past. I tried speaking to her about the retreat, but she remained silent. Perhaps she won't have anything to say about what happens next either. She witnessed the end of an era, Logos. It couldn't have been easy for her, and I fear we'll have one less participant at our future meetings. Misery lets out another sigh. No one can say for sure what will happen next. It's just like the catastrophe cloud above our heads. I may not like this plan, but I must admit, it's the best deterrent we have against those who wish to seize the chance to declare war on the Sarkaz. Without a strong measure like that to avoid war, there could only be more unnecessary sacrifices on the road back to Kasdel. Violence is a means, never an end. There is nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'm just a pessimist, but I still think the rain will come down sooner or later. Aha, so can you let me go? Who the hell are you anyway? I'm really just an explorer. What kind of explorer could stop the lightning in a catastrophe cloud? It's like the thunderbolts themselves are afraid of you. Maybe they've taken a liking to me. See, a few of them just landed right next to me. You do realize it just makes you even more suspicious, right? Personally, I think the catastrophe is sending a clear message. Don't come near us and don't try and test us. Now, let's not be hasty. I just wanted to study the strange catastrophe cloud you created, as well as remind you that I don't like you. You tell too many lies. The Sarkaz mercenary sizes up the man standing before him and hesitates about whether to make a move. This guy is the one you were talking about? He looks pretty normal to me. You sure you got this right, old geezer? He is giving off a particular scent, one I loathe. Ancient Sarkaz language. Smaldeka. Enemies from outside. No, it is not coming from him. It is what he brought with him. Strange. It seems to be a piece of paper. Pfft, you really are confused, you old coot. So does this mean we don't need to worry about him anymore? Hey, why aren't you saying anything? Boss, I told you, call me chairman from now on. Shh, what a pain in the ass. Why did Hodorel have to make up these stupid rules? Only Her Highness should be called chairman. Anyway, your squad's out here to scout, so just keep on scouting. Leave this guy to me. Got it. You, if you've got something to say, say it. Don't try and pull a fast one on me. I guarantee I'm faster than you. There's a fleet heading your way. Don't know which nation they're from. They've disabled all identifying signals. They're coming from that direction. The terrain provides a lot of cover. It would be easy to plan an ambush. I guess everyone wants in on this. Shh, what a bunch of cowards. Afraid of us, yet always acting cocky. Alright, I'll pass on the word to the guys charging to their deaths on the front lines. Hello? Can you hear me? While you're out here, watch out for an ambush. So as a thank you, how about I invite you to watch the catastrophe cloud with me? You're here to explore, right? Haha, I'd really rather not. I'm shaking in my boots here. Alright, your loss. Now scram. If any clueless sarcasm grabs you again, just tell them who let you go. Whissadel. You have my thanks. That sure was a close call. If you hadn't rescued me, this journey would have been my last. Drop the act around me. I know you got caught on purpose. It's so weird. Why do I keep running to people who have nothing to do with the sarcasm, but want to help anyway? The Liberi eyes the seemingly relaxed sarcasm before him, quickly realizing she's likely the leader of the group, and that her attention has long since shifted away from him. She is focused on the distant horizon. She is heeding his warning. The wind brings with it the sounds of the land, or maybe the rumbling of ships' engines. Conflicts, wars, the explorer has already seen too much along the way. As always, we don't want to be the ones waiting for a beating. All the arts creations we sent out have been destroyed. They know we're getting closer, but I never planned on hiding anyway. Some unlucky souls have to be sent to their deaths so that the others can board the ship and fight. Will it be your squad or mine? Follow the orders of Babel and the military commission. This isn't for you to decide on your own. Kill every hostile you encounter. Anyone in the squad who spares an enemy or takes spoils from the comrades, kill them too. Prepare the explosives, set up altars along the route. Normally, the altar's arts can't penetrate the armor of high-speed battleships, but this time we have the catastrophe cloud on our side. They're here. I knew going home wouldn't be that easy. The earth is shaking. The high-speed battleships slowly emerge from the shadows, blocking the Sarkaz's path forward. The warrior launched a few charges like this while in Londinium, and considers himself one of the fortunate few. He also knows full well that the path back to Casdell is not a road, but a battlefield, full of corpses and awash in blood. The Sarkaz procession stops at the edge of the firing range of the battleship's cannons. The sky grows dark as the black cloud overhead lets loose with rolling thunder. Their enemy is approaching. Everyone commence preparations like you were ordered. Each of you just do your own job. I don't want to catch any idiots of you showing off. Halt. You may not advance any further. Only a few Sarkaz have noticed the young Codice girl within their ranks. She marches towards the head of the line. Then, with a wave of her staff, the girl draws a line where she stands. The black line spreads across the earth. A black wall rises up where the line once was. An impregnable wall woven of black silk threads separates the two opposing forces. The Sarkaz can no longer see the Goddess girl on the other side of the wall. But one thing remains imprinted in their memories: the black crown floating above her head. The King of Sarkaz. Their king has not abandoned them? They have a new king? But why an outblood king? The new king's voice resonates in the minds of every Sarkaz present. Meanwhile, the fleet sent to block them clearly hears her words. The Sarkaz are going home. I will not rule out violence if necessary. I know full well the weight of this black crown. Teresa has already led the myriad souls away. For the first time, the Sarkaz have a choice. I will not let her efforts be in vain. Nor do I want the Sarkaz, or any of you, to start another war. The cycle of hatred and revenge must end. This is the first time Amiya has openly revealed her identity since Teresa taught her all there was to know about the Black Crown inside the assimilated universe. Now she can hear noisy cries from amidst the Sarkaz. Impossible. It can't be. An outblood stole the Sarkaz's crown? How? Why? She is our king? Do I have to make a tribute? What does she want from us? Let's go. It's on to the next battlefield. Terror, suspicion, reverence, ecstasy. A wave of emotions floods Amiya's mind. In the past, she's made several attempts to explore the information stored within the Black Crown, but she has never gone this far. The tide of information nearly overwhelms her. For millennia, the Sarkaz have desperately sought their king, chasing an elusive vision. She tries her best to steady her thoughts and maintain the unshakable black wall. I am no ruler, nor am I the king of Sarkaz. If the Sarkaz hate me for this, I will accept that. I will show them the way forward, the path to end their suffering. Both sides should stand down. There won't be any more war. The black wall still stands just as the catastrophe swirls above the wilderness. After a long stalemate, the first battleship in the fleet begins to change direction. Great. Finally. The wave of thought suddenly fades away and she hears an unusually clear voice. Who are you? Remain silent, as His Holiness commanded. Even though the Sarkaz have committed countless crimes within our holy city, even though Laterano has never before faced such provocation and desecration, even though their armies openly threatening the safety of our residents, even then we will not respond? Yes, His Holiness believes that Laterano should not interfere in this matter. I wish to see him. I'm going to file a protest. We are unsure where he is right now. The sudden disturbance of the halo and the flood of information. For whatever reason, it suddenly became aware of something. A conversation. It is having a conversation with something similar to itself. Since it has decided to make its choice, I am afraid I must follow suit. The new revelation it has showed us is something Laterano can no longer bear on its own. Let me think. Let's start with the first question. Who are you? I have to admit, Your Holiness, that this is a long road. Even without the whispers of the myriad souls trapped in Originium for millennia, It will still take a long time for the Sarkaz in this land to let go of their hatred. Well then, Amiya, my child, what if we do not have that much time? What if Terra is no longer in its infancy and has come to the point where it has to face its future? Teresa warned me this might happen. Someone walks into the static void. He is following someone else's footsteps, although their footprints have vanished from this place forever. The tower is still collapsing, a hint that at everything that has transpired. Although time has no meaning here, he must admit he's a step late. She's already completely out of reach. Now all he can see is the golden ocean and the lonely diamond in the sky. Amiya, not even I, the Pope, know when or where the disaster will occur. But I am certain that it will be a crisis that we've never faced before. It is right before our eyes. Wow. Well then. Okay, I just wanted to share a few thoughts on this story collection. There are some big reveals, but I was not a fan of how the story kept jumping through different time periods. You know, it felt like the pacing was really weird because of that, and it got a little bit hard to follow at points. I know I was reading it too, but certain parts were not great. I don't know. I felt like a bunch of them should have been included in the main chapter as well. Like specifically Nezalim, the Noctera King, his chapter. That should have been included in the main story, I think. The one about the Canoes, that should have been earlier on in the story as well, because she appeared there kind of. No, I remember being like, who the hell is this chick, right? When I played through that and I streamed through that, and I know this kind of gives more backstory into them, but like, this is also like how many months after that main story release. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this, not all of it, obviously, like Noel's portion's probably perfectly suited for this, as well as the reunion bit, because reunion, although they've had their part in the main story, they're not the main actors of it. It's really, at this point, it's more so about Siege and her gang, as well as the Rhodes Island crew. It's like, it's following them, so that's fine here. So is Ablana's. But these two in particular, Canoes off the Riverside and Another Breath of Death, those could have been involved in the main story, in like either an epilogue or another. I know it was a long chapter, but like this could have been there too. Like, it would have made more sense for players and Arknights fans to like get this exposition at the same time as the main story. The Amiya one was fun. You know, it's nice to see what they, like, how they're going home, what the immediate thing is. And my gosh, the reveal that the Black Crown connects directly to that thing underneath Laterano, and now the Pope knows who she is, and it sounds like they're becoming friends. Like, that's cool. I like that. Obviously, that's not going to repair all the strife between Sarkaz and Laterano, but that's a start, right? So, I don't know. Like, this was cool. Like I said, the pacing was pretty weak, but overall, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed my reading it too. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts regarding that. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Apparently, YouTube has changed some stuff, so to count views, I guess the listeners or watchers have to be quote unquote engaged, whether that means a comment, a like, or whatever. They have to take some sort of action. So if you could do that, that would really help out. Please and thank you. Alright guys, I will catch y'all later. Take care. Huffy Bear out.